check. Let's see.
There we go. Yeah, we're good. We're live.
Yep.
Alrighty.
You pulled up.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. That was annoying. Um okay, cool. Alright, we're here. Yeah,
Sure.
give it like
Okay.
we'll give it like 5 or so minutes. Somebody's calling me. Hello? It should be good now. Try it now because I was having issues with the stream key. Like I don't know, I was just had to use a different program. Yeah, no, anyone can join. Well, we have a Zoom call just for myself and the ambassadors, and then the public stream is on the YouTube channel. So just go to Fortune's Funding. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I'll send it to you right now. Yeah, I got you. No problem. Got everyone texting me, calling me, like, yeah. But no, you're good. You can see it, right, Hans? Everything's good?
Yeah, yeah. I definitely see myself.
You see yourself? How you looking?
Shit. Yeah, you already know, bro. That statement alone.
All right,
No,
so,
we live. We live. We live.
um, it's called. I'm just sending this. A couple of people texting me. I'm just gonna send them the link. Let's give it like 5 or 10. Not even like 3 to 5 minutes. Just let everyone just funnel in, and we'll be good to go. We got 25 people. What's up, Tim? What's up, Young Wolf? What's up, Drawdown Trader? My boy, Drawdown Trader is a crazy name, bro. You're gonna have to. We're gonna have to change that one.
Change that real soon.
We're gonna have to call that one. I don't even know. Something, anything is better than Drawdown Trader. Let's be honest here. Even just
Oh, it's
Trader
crazy.
would be good.
Man,
Um,
breakout trader is way better than drawdown trader. That's
yeah,
just all I'm gonna say.
yeah. Discovery Trader, Novice
Hey,
Trader, Beginner Trader.
oh man, is that what you're seeing on your end?
No, no, no.
I was about to say this is not good.
I'm just,
Shut
I'm
this
just,
down now.
I'm just adding suggestions.
Oof.
Yo, J Trades, Twin Traders, Caleb Robbins. Yo, if you're in the fucking house, drop something in the chat. Anthony Johnson, what's up, my boy? Yeah, we're just gonna give everyone a few minutes to jump on. We got like 60 people in here. Yeah, we're gonna jump into this. Just gonna start like introducing everybody, myself, all the people that are on here, who they are, why they're here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the platform, and then everyone's going to get an opportunity to just share some value. We do have a representative from a very well-known trading platform. So, how do you pronounce your name? Sorry, bro. Jui?
Yeah, it just can come as Sasaki. It's easier.
Sasaki. Okay, I
Ski
like that.
Sasaki. Yeah.
I like that. Gi Sasaki. I like that. Cool, cool. Yeah, so just I'll give it like a couple more minutes because we did start a little bit late and people couldn't really find the stream. But yeah, sorry about that. What's up, Wendy? Hey, Wendy, how are you? Hope everything is well. We got King J Production, Big Goat Moment, been waiting. Oscar Chang, what's up, Oscar? All right. Well, whatever, people will tune in regardless. So, all right. So we have myself. Obviously, this is a call. We just want to obviously provide some free value here, but ultimately, like we are relaunching the firm, Fortune's Funding. We did operate. If anyone that knows me well knows, that I was operating the firm from 2023 to 2024. I'm definitely not gonna go too in depth into like the logistics of what happened, but we did have to close up shop temporarily, had to remove some bad apples out of the company so we could move forward with faith and confidence. And here we are now, a year or so later, we have much better infrastructure, better technology, better partnerships. So Sasaki here is a representative from Black Arrow, which is a futures trading platform. They also do service CFD and Forex as well. So he's here. We are looking to create an intimate partnership with ourselves and him, and we have some very their company as a whole and we have some exciting plans coming forward. They have a lot of integration, just with like deeper partnerships with the CME and things like that, and we have some cool marketing things that we want to do with them. I don't want to say too much just yet, but he'll definitely. I'm gonna have you come on in a couple minutes. I'm just gonna introduce the rest of the guys. We have Sir Hans Felix here, the guy, the OG, the steady rock amongst all the turbulence in life. He's my boy, and he's a great guy, great trader. More low key, but definitely just an asset to any team that he's on. So we have my boy Andrew Riad. He is primarily a futures trader as well. It's actually funny. I first met Andrew in a free event that we did for Fortunes in Atlanta, and this was when he was just finding himself, and here we are, a year and a half, 2 years later, and he is finding his own success in trading in social media. Like, you never know. Like, I meet a lot of people. You don't know who's gonna be ultimately successful or not, but like some people, like, you meet a tenacious person, somebody that kind of like leaves a lasting impression on you, and it's no surprise that like those type of people that are relentless, that are go-getters, that are putting themselves out there, going to free events, meeting people, shaking hands, kissing babies, like doing all these types of things. That's ultimately what puts you forward. Like, you got to put yourself in those rooms. Like, you could put yourself in the club at 2 a.m. or you could put yourself in the church in Marietta, Georgia, that we did a free event for, with 80 people. It's like, pick what you want, but like, there's no reason, there's no coincidence that somebody became successful that was putting themselves in the right room. So we have the boy I full ported, my boy Eric. We connected on social media. Sometime last year. Good, like, everybody that's on here are good, clean cut people. People that know how to trade, people that present themselves, people that are, physically fit and like in the gym and just like being an upstanding man, like, a good role model, like, essentially. So those are the types of people that I want to represent the brand. They have good integrity. They're good at what they do. They carry themselves, with confidence. And yeah, and then last but not least, we have Josh Pelton. We actually have one more person. He's not present, but Josh Pelton, another OG and the Fortunes Funding ambassadorship. Josh has been around for a while. He's a good, great guy, great trader. Guy catches like the craziest R to R's on US 30. Like, sometimes I think he'd be capping, like, nah, I'm just kidding. But like, he catches some crazy trades. So like, we have people on here that will show you some real value. Like, I don't know what they're gonna say. I don't, but I'm excited to hear it, because I got my notepad and I'm ready to write some shit down myself. So like, don't ever think that you're not good enough, like, to or you're too good. Don't ever think you're too good. I'm not too good. Like, I'm good, but I'm not too good, like, for anything. So yeah, so that's the lineup right now. And then we have my boy Azarel as well. He's on some yacht. He's in Miami. He's on a yacht. He's got a bunch of women on the yacht. So like, I don't blame him, but like, I'm a little disappointed that he's slacking. I'm gonna text him right now, because I'm like, yo, it's time, bro. So yeah, so how this is gonna work is I'm just gonna talk a little bit quickly about Fortunes. Let me read the chat here. Let me put the chat up on the left side so I can see the chat. Yo, what up, Zach Sordano, George, Michael Desier, Olaranian, George, Drawdown Trader. You got to change that name, my boy. I can't have that coming up in my chat, bro. Christian Scott. Okay, so pretty much Fortunes Funding is back, right? So you guys are going to hear about it first, but we're going to be doing a launch giveaway. We're giving away 10,000 challenges to everybody. And I would like to collect emails as well to give everyone that's a part of this live stream right now, paying attention, tuning in, I'm going to give an additional challenge to. So everyone that writes their email right now in the chat, I'm going to have a record of it. I'm going to copy and paste your email, and I'm going to give you an additional challenge just for showing up right now. So just drop your email, your spam email, whatever, not the one that's linked to your entire life or someone that's, steal your identity or whatever, but just drop an email in the chat, and I'm going to make sure everyone gets an additional challenge as well. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, the yacht master, the Don P Flexer
Nah.
9000. Show him the life. Show him, bro. Show him what's up. Show him.
So
Yeah.
then they paused and just got
Where'd
here
the
on this
women go?
side.
The
Yeah,
rental
they're
the
all
rentals over for the women.
nah. The jet skis pulled up. We're gonna pull up on the skis.
My man really cleaned up house. Where the 20 joints at?
Yeah, exactly. Like he got compliant really quick.
Yeah,
He
real
got SEC
compliant.
compliant.
So we got the
There you
skis.
go.
See, oh shit, they got their
Okay.
shots out.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
That's what we want to see, man. We want to see that
Florida.
full court life.
Florida shit, bro. Florida shit.
Yeah. 305 type life.
But yeah, everyone in the like, I don't see anyone anyone in the YouTube
Appreciate it.
anyone in the
Oh,
YouTube chat, just drop your email. I'm gonna give you guys a free challenge. But this is how this is gonna work. Okay, so Fortunes Funding, we're gonna be offering forex challenges, and we're going to be offering futures options as well, which I have kind of hinted at a bit, but we're going to be fully integrated in both ends of the spectrum, which on the same website, in the same dashboard, well, not in the same dashboard, but on the same website, you'll have a Forex dashboard, you'll have a futures dashboard. Okay, so that's our plan. We're going to be launching the firm by giving away, as we did previously, we're going to give away $10,000 challenges to everybody. There's going to be a few steps. You're going to have to join the Discord. You're going to have to follow the Instagram, etc., etc. And then everyone will be gifted a $10,000 challenge. Okay. So how this actual call is going to work is, I'm going to have Azrael talk for a moment, and then I'm going to have Mr. Sasaki speak a little bit about Black Arrow, and just just short and sweet and to the point, and whatever you'd like to share and highlight with that, and then we'll go down the list with the guys. All the guys, Azrael's not doesn't have his laptop with him, so he's probably not going to be sharing much charts right now. More bottle service and Miami life, but yeah, and then we'll all just have a 10-minute slot, 15-minute slot. We'll all break down the charts, and then anybody that is interested in asking a question, you'll have your time. We'll have a Q&A at the end. Okay, so Azrael, take the floor, my friend. You're up.
What's good, guys? So I don't know. I'm just out here, bro. It's the beauty of trading and then just making money and living life on your own terms. Like at the end of the day, it's not about the money; it's about the freedom. I truly like. Everybody has a different story. Everybody has dealt with different hand of cards, but like I had to work for all my shit, so I knew what it felt like to work 60, 80 hours a week. Same with James, same with a lot of people. We were normal people working normal jobs. We all started from nothing, and we had that desire for more, bro. Like we knew what it felt like to just be trapped. And there's different sides of life. There's people that have money, and then there's people that are trapped working a job. My bad, but we just had that desire for more, bro. And we simply believed that we could do it. And then there's a million ways to make $1 million. At the end of the day, you have to pick what resonates with you. A lot of people kind of want to get the concept of like, oh, I want to be a trader. It sounds easy. You can just fucking press the buttons and you make money, but that's not the reality, bro. Everybody would do it. Like it's called the 1% for a reason in any subject. But if you truly want it bad enough, you can make it happen, bro. Like, look at James, look at me. We were normal people, and now look what we're doing, bro. So just if you put in the work, if you truly believe in yourself, bro, it's gonna happen, bro. Like, it's not gonna happen in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but it's gonna happen, bro. Like, James went through. I've seen James fucking lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, bro. And like, guess what? As long as the only way you can fail in life is if you quit. If you quit, then that's it, bro. The game doesn't end until you're fucking dead. So it's like so many people want to be successful, and then they fucking quit after a month. They can't even study the chart. They get traumatized after they blow an account and they just quit. So it's like you just gotta keep going, bro. It's like at the end of the day, you gotta have that drive in you. You have to have that burning desire. Like James truly wanted it. I truly wanted it. Every single successful person truly wanted it. And like when you truly want it, you'll go through the trial and error. You'll go through the failures. You'll go through everything. Nothing's gonna get in your way, bro. You'll make it happen. And like we're all living proof, bro. Every success is proof that you can succeed. Like we're no different. We're all human. We all have the same brains. We breathe the same oxygen, bro. Like I used to when I was like at a lower level, and like I would look up to all these people. And then like some of my first mentors, I'd be like, he would text me and be like, oh my God, man, I can't believe like, bro, thank you so much. And then he was very humble. He was like, bro, like stop idolizing me. I'm no different than you. It's just I've been doing this longer than you. I've just been committed. Like we're all the same, bro. Like you guys just have to open up your mind and truly believe that it's possible. When you truly believe it's possible, bro, it's gonna happen. Bro. It's gonna happen. So sum everything up, it boils down to how bad you want it. If you want it bad enough, you will make it happen no matter what, bro. It's like everyone, everyone's time is different. I'm 26. You know, some people find success early on at like fucking like 18, 19, 20. But it's like you have to focus on your path, bro. Like just how in the gym, some people have good genetics. They had a starter pack. They already had abs. Same thing goes for in life. You know, like some people came from good families. Some people had better, help from people. But it's like you can't focus on that. You have to focus on the cards that you're dealt, and you have to move forward with what you can, bro. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
want to yap too
and no,
much.
no, you no, that was great, and I
Yeah.
want to add a layer to that, bro, because it's not just wanting it is obviously very important, but I think the words like wanting it are kind of like romanticized. Like it's not necessarily superficially wanting it. Like if you genuinely want it, your actions will reflect it. Because anybody can say I want it, I want it, I want it, but it's like,
Everybody wants it.
do you really want it? Because every day there's two forks. Every decision you make consciously or subconsciously, there's two forks in the road, and typically every decision boils down to what I want right now or what's better for my future, right? Like I want to lay down right now or I want to get up and go to the gym. I want to eat this unhealthy food or I want to eat the meal that's going to transform my body or I want to play video games or I want to study this trading course that's fucking free that I don't even have to pay for. Like every decision, whether you realize it or not, boils down to that. So if every decision you make is on the right side of your fork, yes or no, like to your future self, eventually you wind up at that destination, right? It's like, because every decision that satisfies the right now takes you further away from that path that you feel that you're destined for. So it's not just saying I want it, which not to take away what you said because it's true,
yeah.
but to add to that level, like how that actually materializes in your life is every decision winds up taking you further towards your destination or further away from your destination. And you may not even you have to be very aware of your daily habitual actions, your daily habits. Like what do I do? Like when I get on the charts, do I just fucking blow my account? Do I risk my whole account every single time? Like if you can't control those mechanisms, you will fail every single time. So you have to be very, very, very self-aware of everything you digest, everything you do every day, and where it's taking you, okay? Because you should be able to reflect on the last 6 months and realize, yo, did I actually make progress or did I kind of just stay inside of the same bubble of comfort and complacency, right?
Yeah, it boils down to your habit, bro. It's like everyone should. It's free game right now. Watch the video. Look up on YouTube Atomic Habits and watch the video summary on it. It's like 30 minutes, and it literally breaks down how your whole life and the way you think is a habit, and it teaches you how to analyze your habits and replace your habits. It literally boils down to your habits, bro. Like just like what James said. Everybody wants it. Everybody can want it. Everybody wants to be free. Everybody wants to be rich. But it's called the 1% for a reason. If you want that life, you have to do what 99% of other people do not do every day. So it's like, hold down your habits.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to take 1 second, I just realized that everyone that sent in their emails for the free challenge on YouTube chat, you can't put your email. So everyone just DM Fortunes Funding Instagram, and I will personally collect every email and make sure I issue the accounts. Just send your email out, and I'll collect them there, and that will be the way to do it. My apologies, I didn't realize you couldn't drop your email in the YouTube chats. But yeah, Azra, I appreciate you. Any final words you want to share? I know you're kind of, you're doing your thing out there. So let me see a backflip for the one time, bro. Backflip into the water.
Yeah, I can't fucking.
Nah, with the phone. Do it with the phone and the AirPods and everything, bro.
Hold on.
You
No, I
probably
can
got
set
some
the phone
seat
up.
phrases in that phone, man. Don't do it, bro. Don't fall
I
into
know,
peer
right?
pressure.
Literally. Hold on. Let me set this shit up.
Have someone hold it. Have someone hold it, bro. That would be...
No, everyone's in the back. Can y'all see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah.
All right, ready?
Take your earpods out, bro.
The AirPods gone.
Oh. I was gonna say, oh, there you go.
All right.
That
We'll
boy,
take it.
That's G.I. Azarel, the action figure.
Yeah. Let's go, bro. Yeah, just kill it, bro. Just fucking make it happen. At the end of the day, bro, I was fucking 18, 19. Now I'm 26. Like the time's gonna fly. We're already in month 7 of this year, bro. Like before you know, time's gone, and you just have to we're gonna die one day. So it's like, are you truly gonna live this one life being average? Like, No, I'm not saying you have to live like a crazy luxury life, but it's like, bro, like everybody has this dream, everybody has this thing they desire, and are you really gonna go your whole life not trying to make it happen, like simply because it was hard? Like, imagine you're gonna be like 60, 80 years old just working a regular job still, and then you'll be like, oh wow, I didn't make it happen because it was hard, because I was fucking lazy. Like, come on, bro, just make it happen, bro, make it happen.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, my brother. I will step on to the next man, bro. I'll talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your boat day, my friend.
Oh, bro, yeah, guys, I better hop on the speed, bro.
Hydrate yourself, bro.
Nice.
All right.
All right, guys, much love, bro.
We're gonna go to Andrew next.
Peace.
Peace, bro.
Peace.
Yo, what's going on, you guys? I don't know if you guys can see me good.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I just pinned you, so you're front and center, brother.
Okay, what's going on, you guys? My name is Andrew Riad. I'm based out of Atlanta, Georgia. I've been trading since I was 15. I'm 22 right now. I have been trading consistently for about 4 to 5 years now. So I started taking trading seriously right out of high school. Yeah, so I'm not gonna give any like advice necessarily in terms of mindset or anything like that. But what I am going to do is talk a little bit about the pressures that our parents or maybe the people in our life will put upon us and the expectations that they have and how that could affect someone that wants to do trading, especially if it's not something that is normal around them. For me, growing up, I'm Egyptian, so I grew up in a Middle Eastern household. It's either you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. It's nothing in between. And growing up, I was told that I was good at math, good at school, top of my class, 4.3 GPA, took all AP classes. I'm trying to get into Georgia Tech, which is a very prestigious engineering school in my city. And this entire time, I thought that that was exactly what I wanted to do. But in fact, it wasn't what I wanted to do. It's what my parents wanted me to do. And out of respect, I still tried my best and everything. But it came to the point where, unfortunately, I didn't get into my dream school. Um, I went to like another school, Georgia State, still a good school as well, for a year, or trying to get into that school. And I ended up going, and I found out like, well, now I can't really focus on trading because I have to show up to class in the morning. So what am I going to do? I had to make the decision. Am I going to continue to go to school and do what my parents want me to do and live the life that they're telling me I should be living based off of what they know? Or am I going to take the risk and actually trade? And I decided to take the risk, and thank God I did. That was the best decision I ever made. Now, I'm not telling you, whoever listening here, to drop out of school, or I'm not telling you to drop out of school or don't listen to your parents.
Everyone should drop out of school right now.
But I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, it's your life. You have to make the decision. You have to be consciously aware of what it is that you're doing and what it is that you want for your own life. I, you know, I took the risk, and I didn't know if it was going to work out. At the time, I wasn't profitable. In fact, I was 19 years old, 18, 19 years old. I wasn't making a penny. I had no job. I was working sales a little bit in high school, but it wasn't anything crazy that I was doing. And I remember going to my dad, and my dad and I are really close now. But at first, like when I did this transition, it was hell, like literal living hell. We were fighting every single day. There would be days where I'm bawling my eyes out, crying. Like my parents, like almost like I felt like I was neglected. I was, they're getting me to talk to the priest. They're getting these people from church to come and talk to me. I'm like, what is going on here? It's not that serious, okay? I'm 19 years old. Worst case scenario, I can go back to school and I'm 25. That's the way that I viewed it. But they didn't see eye to eye. They said that no, education is very important. I said, okay, but I'm gonna be self-educated. And it got to the point to where my dad's like, okay, well, you're not my son unless you go to school, this, that, and the third. So I finally decided, we made an agreement. He said, in 4 years, you can come to me. Because I said, look, the average day trader takes 4 years to become profitable. The average uh, degree takes you 4 years. So he said, okay, we'll make a deal. It's either in 4 years you're going to come to me with a degree or you're going to come to me with money. And here I am. Obviously, one side worked out for me over the other, which is good. I stuck to it. I was working as a server for 4 years. My dad owns a restaurant, so I was working for him. I was only working 3 days a week, barely scraping by. But the reason why I work 3 days a week, and I always tell everyone who asks me, like, yo, what job should I go? I'm training, be a server or do sales, remote sales, because it's the most flexible. You get to talk to people. I met so many people working as a server. I learned I had really good communication skills. It helped me grow a lot as a person. And although I wasn't making the best money, it still kept me by. I was taking my paychecks every single week and throwing it into funded accounts and blowing it every single week. There'd be days where I couldn't even put gas in my car. but I just stuck to it. And I did a transition. I used to trade Forex. Now, during the time where James was running his firm, I was trading Forex. Afterwards, once there was a bunch of nonsense in the Forex space and the regulations and everything, and MT5 got deleted, I then switched over to futures. I mean, I was only trading Nasdaq anyways, so it didn't really make a difference. I was still trading the same exact pair. I just switched platforms and I learned how futures work. And I started trading with a few other firms. I'm not going to name names here. Obviously, we're trying to get fortunes. I want you guys to all trade with fortunes, but I got my first $10,000 payout. Now, I had payouts here and there from other firms, but I was never really consistent. But I had my first consistent months back in May of 2023. May, June, July. Uh, those were my best months. And wait, 2023 or 2024? What are we in right now? A year ago.
2025, brother.
Yeah, it was a year ago, actually. Not even. Yeah, a year ago I was working as a server. Crazy to think about that.
Time
March.
flies, bro. Time flies.
March of last year, I quit my job. Yeah, I didn't tell my dad to fuck off, but that's what I would tell you to do to your boss. But my dad was my boss, so I couldn't tell him to fuck off. But I did. I definitely told him. I was like, "Yo, look, like I'm not gonna work here anymore," and he was fine with it. And he was a bit upset because I'm not gonna lie, I was his best server because I knew the menu like the back of my hand. I was very good at upselling. My sales were the highest. Again, I'm gonna say this one thing. Whatever I do, it doesn't matter if I'm a server, if I'm picking up trash, if I'm in the gym, I'm gonna put my 100% effort. I'm gonna be the best damn person at that job that I'm doing, and that's the mindset that I went into with trading. I told myself I was gonna become the best possible trader I can become because that's
How
the
did
only
you do that?
I was spending 8 hours a day studying on the charts. I would get home from school or work or wherever, and I would literally just spend all
And
day
what
studying.
what did you find the most valuable? Like where did you find value? Because a lot of people, there's so much information out there, you can get analysis paralysis. What in
Yes,
particular worked for you?
hiring a mentor. And I'm going to say this to
Hiring a
the
mentor. Okay.
yes, and even someone like James. Like I looked up to James a lot. I remember the first conversation I had with James in person. I was following him for years, for a year. Like since I was 15, I was looking at James's page and all the account flips he was doing and all these crazy things and flying on jets and going out to Mexico. I was watching everything, and I was like, okay, like I want to be like that one day. And just like Azrael said, like I used to idolize all of these influencers until I finally I'm not an influencer, but until I had became, I had a social media following, I realized, okay, we're no different than each other. So, you know, for so long I was stuck in, oh, I need to figure this out by myself. I don't need to hire anybody. But then I started investing in myself. A lot of people are too scared to invest a couple $1,000s into a mentor.
And you spent how much? Just curious.
So I joined ICT's mentorship back in 2021. I was a charter member, which is like people hear that and they're like, wow, like how the hell did you do that? I was paying.
What is that? A charter member? Or what is that?
That's like essentially like the elite version of an ICT student.
Okay.
So I went through the entire mentorship, and that took a total of 13 months. I paid a total of almost $2,500 for that,
Right.
and I found myself stuck because he has 100,000 students. You can't really like talk to him,
Access them, yeah, right.
and you can't access him. So I still was stuck. I wasn't profitable. That's where I found another mentor, who also was a ICT charter member, but he was really, really good and he had a lot of better understanding. And once I found him, I was able to actually talk to him and communicate with him on a regular basis. He was helping me with funded accounts and risk management and everything. And back to what I was saying earlier, I got my first $10,000. Like I had a few more like $5,000 payouts here and there, 6,000, 7,000 throughout my journey, but it was never consistent. I was always getting a payout and blowing my funded account and then not getting a payout for a long time. So I
Someone
got
asked,
my
how old are you now?
Yeah, I'm 22 years old. I'm 22 years
22
old.
years old.
I don't look 22, but I'm 22.
You look
Um,
32. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
22
No, you
years
look
old.
like an upstanding gentleman. You definitely, you got it's the beard, bro. It's the beard.
And it's the physique, I'm not.
Yeah,
Anyways, yeah. So I got my first $10,000 payout from a firm. I was copy trading with multiple accounts. It's the best thing that I recommend, especially in the future space, to copy trade multiple accounts. And I was able to get a $10,000 payout in, I believe it was May. Then I hit another one in June, and then July I had a $20,000 payout, and then August I had my first $40,000 payout. Now I'm gonna get into something else. During that month, I actually did make $1 million in profit on the prop firm. And I remember calling James, and he's like, "Yo, like chill out a little bit, like reduce your risk. You made $1 million, like, relax. Now the firm that I was with, they weren't going to allow me to withdraw the money for 4 months of consistent. Like I had to have 4 months of consistent.
This guy ran up a seven figures on what was it? Top
20
Step?
days
Top
in
Apex? Apex.
in 20 days. I did in 20 days. I ran up $1 million. It was during the time where um, Trader Kane, he also was running up his accounts as well, and he actually got the payout. He stuck it through for the amount of time, but it took him about 3 months to do it.
And what did I tell you on the phone?
You said that if you don't control yourself right now, you're gonna blow all of it, and I sure damn blew every penny. And I did it all in one day. I revenge traded. I blew every penny, and it was one of the hardest days of my life. I'm not gonna lie. From then on, like I was going down spirals. I wasn't making any more money. Like I went down a really dark path. And most people at that point would be like, people tell me like, oh, I would have killed myself, whatever. One, never kill yourself. That's retarded. And then two, um, it's just kind of like, for me, I said, you know what, like I have the skills that got me here. What was the reason of my downfall was simply greed, lack of risk management, and then lack of emotional control. So what am I going to do? Fix those issues so that it doesn't happen again.
Of course.
Okay. And then I started posting on social media around that time. I blew up. I gained 100,000 followers in 3 months from 2,000 followers. I started, helping people and giving free advice. And then, people started asking me, yo, can you teach me how to trade, whatever. And that's when I started my private mentorship as well, which, I now have over 80 students and we're growing every single month. I like to keep it exclusive. I don't like to mentor too many people at one time because I do offer that one-on-one aspect that a lot of people don't do, simply because I know how it feels to not have that one-on-one aspect. So I'm trying to give back.
It's the
And
most receptive way,
yeah,
because
yeah, I would.
everyone is different. We are all people. I don't mean to cut you off. We all have different tendencies, and I've noticed it as well. Like the best way to get through to somebody is the best way to get through to somebody. And what I mean by that is just like everyone has a different route that they need guidance through. So,
Right.
now, do you want to share anything quickly as far as charts? Because I want to talk about our stories definitely, but I know a lot of people are here for charts particular, and I don't know if you want to share
Yeah,
anything or
yeah, sure. What?
yeah. Let me allow you to share your screen really quick. Boop, boop, boop. All right, good. Go ahead.
Give me
Yeah,
one second.
let's do some charts. I know you have an interesting strategy and it's very applicable like to day trading and it's more of like a not I wouldn't say scalping. Would you say scalping kind of?
Okay, so the problem that I'm
Like
encountering
high
right,
probability scalping.
yes, but the problem that I'm encountering right now, okay, is that the markets have changed. So it's like ever since Trump came into
Changed
office.
how? Like how would you quantify that?
Okay, so before we used to have consistent runs of a lot of like, before the market used to trend. Like before Trump came into office, I mean, obviously the end of last year was a bit difficult in the winter, but before, like I'm talking about last summer, even from all the way from February up until like, I'd say February up until, where are we right now? February up until maybe February of last year up until uh before Trump came into office, essentially. The markets used to be very trendy. Okay, every day would be pretty trendy. We'd have the typical consolidation during London, especially I'm speaking on behalf of Nasdaq. We would have the typical consolidation on during London, and then we would have price would simply manipulate during early New York, and then we'd have the expansion during AM and PM session, and that was what it was. Okay, every single day, it was pretty much the same thing. So it was a lot easier to trade. Okay, but then now I came into this market where it's like choppy every single day. Okay, we're not really moving too much. We're at all-time highs. We've been at all-time highs for a minute. We've actually hit it twice this year, which is ridiculous. And the market is just very choppy. You have to be in and out. You can't hold too long. If you do hold too long, you have to suffer large drawdown. And as a prop trader, it becomes very difficult. Especially, I love trading with Apex because of the scalability that it offers you. But the one thing that I don't recommend any beginner trader do, and James and I were speaking about making this possible for fortunes, is to not have trailing drawdown because it does wreck you. It ruins your psychology. It ruins your ability to trade, and it doesn't allow you to trade freely. Like until you beat that buffer, you're trading with you're like it's like you're playing basketball with handcuffs. That's what.
Right, right. I mean, listen, one thing I will say is that there has to be balance in every aspect. Like, if you give too much to the traders, then the firm will suffer. If you take too much away from the traders, then the traders will suffer and the business itself will not generate revenue, right? So that's another thing that I will say. Like, I've looked at a lot of, what the offerings are currently, and it's a balance to not tip the scale in either direction too far, right? Like, we want to have a fair offering for our traders, but we have to be fair to ourselves, and traders need to understand that the prop firm business is an inherently risky business if it's not managed properly, as we've seen with plenty of firms that have gone under. So if we were, which I would like to develop this, and we'll talk about it, like, the metrics for a challenge that doesn't have trailing drawdown. But the reason why a lot of firms do that is because it's a great risk management tool, and it allows for traders to, like, not really go on, crazy, run trades where they just let them ride and they just run forever and ever. So with anything that you give, you have to take something away, and that would be ultimately, like, if we were to take away or if we were to give a different drawdown, we'd have to take away some other metric somewhere else,
Right, correct. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the charts a little bit. Yeah. I'm going to give a brief overview on exactly how I trade.
Yeah.
Just, if you can see
quick, somebody said, is Fortune's Funding 2.0 releasing today? No, we're not. We're going to do I'm going to talk about that after Andrew is done, but we're not releasing today. We're a couple weeks away, but we're just kind of just reintroducing ourselves here. But go ahead.
Can you see my screen good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is my opinion, obviously. Okay, people have different opinions, but I believe that the market runs off of an algorithm.
Is this financial advice, Andrew, or not?
This is not financial advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm simply giving my opinion on what I think the markets are doing and how they operate in my...
This is your own anecdotal opinion.
Yes, correct. Don't listen to anything I'm saying. Take it lightly. It's all...
I mean, listen to it if it resonates with you. It's your decision, right?
Okay, so I'm going to give some free sauce here, okay? This is, I don't really say too much of this publicly, but, James is my boy. I'm going to hook you guys up. You guys are going to support us at Fortune's Funding, so I'm going to support you guys as well. So, real quick, you guys are probably wondering, okay, what are all these lines? And I'm actually going to do a whole I'm going to delete all of my annotations for you guys, okay? Just so that I can re-clean everything and show you guys step by step. Okay, if I were to get onto a brand new chart, it doesn't matter what pair, this can be applicable to NASDAQ, ES, YM, even if you want to trade gold, you want to trade pound JPY, Euro USD, it doesn't matter what you want to trade, it's all the same, okay? There's just the only thing that's different is here, and then this is the same. Time is the same, okay? So the first thing that I like to do every single day, obviously I don't do this every day just simply because I already have my previous annotations on the chart, is I like to mark out my days. So we're going to use last week as the example, simply because this week's price action has yet to print. So, okay. For those of you guys that don't know, the daily candle forms at 6 o'clock p.m., okay? That is known as true day open. Now, because the market runs off of New York time, okay? Our days don't start at 6 p.m. the previous day. Our days start at midnight, okay? So I like to have these two reference points. But if you were to go to the daily chart, okay, the opening daily price of a candle starts 6 p.m. the night before. So what I like to do is, and I'll show you guys right here, okay? I go and I like to mark out my days. Okay, so let's just start out with last Sunday. Okay, so Sunday is the opening of the week. So Sunday at 6 o'clock p.m. is the opening of the week. And then I'll just make it, I like to make it gray just so that I could see it. Okay, we'll make it gray. I'll make it a little bit thinner. Okay, cool. So that we have Sunday. Then I'm just going to mark out every New York midnight opening price of every single day. So here, we have New York midnight opening price right here. We have New York midnight opening price, and I'm just simply going to mark this out now. What this allows me.
When you say New York midnight opening, you mean midnight EST, correct?
Correct. Yes. So I make sure that my charts at the bottom say UTC -4. It doesn't matter what time zone you're in. Any of my students, even if they're out in Europe, I recommend that they have their chart set on that time, because then they can know the exact times in which the algorithm is going to be operating. So this is what I do. So the first thing I do is I mark out my days. Now, there's a few different prices that price will refer back to as a means of premium and discount. That is the 1800 opening price, which is right at that 6 o'clock open. Okay, and then also New York midnight opening price. So I also like to mark these prices out. So we're going to start with, for example, Monday as our example for reading price. And we're going to zoom into Monday, and I'm going to break it down from the 1 hour chart all the way down into the 5 minute and then even into the 1 minute. So if I take a look at Monday, okay, Sunday's opening was the 1800 opening for that previous day. So what I'd like to do is here, and I always have these templates saved here. So I just click 1800 opening price, and I'll just mark out that price, that opening price right there. Okay, now I'll do the same thing at midnight. You can see how they were relatively close, which is good. I love when they're relatively close. Okay, so ideally, in an ideal scenario, if I'm looking for shorts on a given day, I would have liked to see price manipulate above both New York midnight opening price and 1800 opening price. Now, this doesn't always happen, but this is ideally what I'd like to see. Now, the reason behind this is simply because, okay, a candle has four main components, okay? We'll use a bearish candle in this context. My bearish candles are black, so we'll use a bearish candle, okay? We have the open, the high, the low, and the close, okay? So this is going to be the open. So a bearish candle opens at here, okay? It closes down here. We have the high up here, and then we have the low down here, okay? So with this in mind, we know that at the opening of every single candle, whether that be a daily candle or even a 15-second candle, we know that price is going to open, push up, so it's going to essentially consolidate at the open, manipulate higher, and then it's going to expand down lower, and then come back down and then close. So we form wicks on both sides. So if you can almost imagine this right here, okay, we kind of consolidate right here, then we manipulate higher, then we expand down lower, and then we end up closing. So it's exactly what I just outlined right here, but you can see it off of the chart directly. Okay, the same goes if you're expecting a bullish day. Ideally, I'd like to see price dip down beneath 1800 and New York midnight open. So that's the first level. Now, obviously, I'm not just basing my entire analysis off of this. This is just one component
And
of my.
really quick, I don't mean to cut you off, but if what criteria would you use to determine if you're expecting a bullish day or bearish day?
Yeah, and I'm about to get into that right now.
All right, go ahead.
I like to look at the current dealing ranges. Now, what is a dealing range? A dealing range is simply going to be the range in which the highest high and the lowest low in which price is currently trading within. Okay, so if a low has been swept, okay, so for example, let's go down into the 15-minute. You'll see it a bit clearer. Okay, so the current dealing range for me, actually, we'll go back to the 1 hour. It's a bit better, okay. So the current dealing range for me is going to be, okay, from this low, and I love to use my fib, and I can show you guys my fib settings. I know a lot of people always ask me. So this is just my basic fib. I just use it for a measure of premium and discount. Now, if I'm using a fib for entry, I do use this. It has like my quote unquote golden pocket OTE 61.8, 70.5, 78.6. But again, I don't use that one often because I can just eyeball it. So I like to just use my my premium and discount, so just to see a reference of the overall range. So why did I choose this low and not this low, or not this low, or not this low, or not this low? The reason why I specifically chose this low is because this low swept liquidity, okay, and is responsible for a break of structure above this high. So now this becomes our protected low. If we're actually going to continue up higher, okay, we're not violating here. At least I don't want to see this violated, because if this low gets violated, we're now going to shift down to the downside, and we're likely going to start coming into these areas. So this is my protected low, okay? So I will use my protected low, and then the highest high of that swing. Obviously, we're talking about Monday at this point, so imagine none of this price action is here, okay? So these are my areas, okay, that I'm referring to as my overall dealing range. Now, within the overall dealing range, you can have internal dealing ranges, which we'll get into in a second, but this is essentially what I'm looking for, okay? So we can see how on this day, okay, look at the bottom. If you look at the bottom right here, you'll see the days. So on Thursday, we aggressively displaced up higher, putting in this high. We broke structure. What is considered a break of structure is simply when we close above a specific area, okay? So we closed above here with nice displacement candles. Okay, now we came back into the range. Okay, we've already came back down and rebalanced here. So the algorithm has two main components it has to do on a daily basis or a minute basis, whatever. It has two roles. It's either going to rebalance imbalances or it's going to take out liquidity. Okay, so in this instance right here, we've already rebalanced this imbalance. Okay, but if I'm expecting higher prices, okay, and we've already began to retrace, I'm not expecting price to just start like going up higher from here. Why? Because we're in a premium. If you look at the range from this low to this high, okay, anything above the 50% is considered premium, and then anything beneath the 50% is considered discount. Okay, so right here, I need to wait. In order for price to push back up above this high, price needs to come back down into the discount. And what's going to be residing in the discount? Liquidity. So liquidity is going to be resting orders beneath old buy stops and old sell stops. Sorry, old highs and old lows. Okay, it's going to be resting buy stop and sell stop orders. So in this instance right here, I see that price is going to come down and take out this low. Now, upon taking out this low, what else do? We come into this imbalance right here, okay, which this imbalance is in a discount. So because this imbalance is in a discount, okay, what am I going to expect? A reaction out of it. Where? To push me at the bare minimum above this high. But ideally, I'd like us to push above this high, okay? Now, you can see here, okay, on this specific day, on Monday, I'm only going to be looking for shorts. Why? Because we're in the premium of the range from this low to this high. So if I go ahead and zoom into Monday's price action, okay? Now, what I like to do is, okay, I like to see, okay, what did we do? Okay, so I'm going to move this here just so I can outline this high. So this for me is London high. Okay, this is the highest high that was formed in London. So during early New York, what did we do? We swept it. So right as we swept it, now what is considered a sweep? A sweep is when we don't get a close above. Now you might see that we closed above here on the 15-minute, but notice what happened here. Price pushed up, immediately pushed back down. This indicates to me a higher time frame wick. If I were to go on the 30-minute, you'll see that it's a wick right there. And I was able to tell that based off of the 15-minute because we just immediately displaced up higher and immediately displaced down lower. So that for me is a sweep. Okay. So right as price sweeps, okay, and then we take out the body of this up close candle. Okay. For me, that is something called a change in the state of delivery. So what does a change in the state of delivery indicate to me? It indicates to me that price is now shifting from seeking buy side to now wanting to seek sell side. So at the bare minimum, I want this low to get taken. Okay. With that in mind, okay, I'm now going to start looking for shorts. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to outline this imbalance right here. Okay, so we've displaced away from here. So what am I going to do? Right as price breaks and closes through here, I'm not just going to enter. I can't enter right at the change in the state of delivery, but the highest probability setup that's going to offer me the largest move is when price comes back up into origin of price. What is origin of price? Origin of price is going to be considered that area of price that initiated this entire run down after sweeping liquidity. Okay, so I know I'm talking a lot right now, so you got to follow along a little bit. Okay, so right as price, what am I going to do? I'm not going to wait.
Somebody said, does log matter in your chart setup?
What is log?
I guess log scale. I guess maybe. I think that's what they mean. You know, like. Nah, I guess if you don't.
No, I don't know what that is, so I don't really.
Nah, it doesn't. Yeah. I think they mean log scale.
So this fair value gap right here, I'm going to wait for here now because I love to enter off of the lower time frame. Excuse me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to outline this fair value gap on the 15-minute. Now, what am I doing? I'm not just entering based off of it. I can, by all means. If you're a 15-minute trader, by all means, you can enter here. Your stop loss is going to be right here. Now, this isn't that bad of a stop loss. The range here wasn't that big, okay? But for me, I still prefer to have really tight stops. So what am I going to do? And let's just say my target is down at this liquidity right here. I'm going to drop down into the 1 minute, okay? And I'm going to wait for there to be the same exact formation, but on the 1 minute, right as we're entering into that fair value gap. So that way I can scale down my entry. So, for example, right here. Now, in this instance, it didn't offer the cleanest shift. Like that would have been right here. But what am I going to do? I'm going to see, okay, what is within this fair value gap that I can see that price can respect? I see this order block right here. We had a change in the state of delivery right here. Okay, this entire area is already entirely rebalanced. I want to see this gap remain open. Why do I want to see it remain open? Because it's already, we have buy side and sell side delivered immediately upon this forming Okay, we also already came back up and rebalanced some of this candle. So what am I going to do? If I enter directly off of the 50% of this fair value gap on the 15-minute, which is represented by this blue box right here. So let's just say I had my limit order set right here at the 50% because I know that I'm expecting a reaction. I don't have to place my stop loss all the way up here. Now, if I entered off the 15-minute, I will have to do that. But I can just simply place my stop loss right here. Okay, why? Because I don't want to see this gap traded into. So right as price hits there, boom, displaces straight there. And I believe I did take this trade live on stream with all of my students. And then you can see here, it hits my target beautifully. Now, the reason why I would have had my target here and not all the way down there is simply because I know that once price takes out an area of liquidity, we're likely going to retrace. Okay. And because I've been so used to trading on prop firms and trailing drawdown and all this, I'm securing my profits. I would rather take my profits here for price to come back up and offer me another entry and then re-enter. So for example, price comes up and sweeps this entry, okay, without violating my original stop loss. So again, I could take another entry right here. Stop loss right there again. And you can see it hits it perfectly.
Do you have specific entry criteria like to execute upon, like even go to a lower time frame, like the seconds time frame and break your structures, or you're just entering those prices in your? Do you wait for a rejection or any type of practice action confirmation?
It depends. It depends. So if the stop loss is really tight, like it is here, for example,
I'm gonna enter immediately.
I'm gonna enter immediately with the size I normally enter. Now, if the stop loss, for example,
you use limits, correct?
Sometimes I do, yes. If it's an instance like this where I'm expecting a very severe
reaction, yeah, right.
I'm gonna use a limit order because I'm not gonna be able to get in that quick.
Yeah, right.
But if it's typically like if I'm waiting for price to maybe shift or whatever. So for example, here, okay, let's just say I missed this entry off of here, okay, or even let's just say I missed this entry. We'll use this first example, okay. Let's just say I wasn't confident, like I didn't know. Okay, are we gonna run through this fair value gap? Are we gonna push straight through it? Whatever. What am I going to do? I'm going to wait for the first down close candle to be formed after the up close candle. This up close candle already closing beneath the body or closing beneath this fair value gap is indicating to me that we're likely not going to
expecting it.
Exactly. Because if we were actually going to violate it, we would have already put this candle would have pushed through because look at this aggressive displacement. Why all of a sudden it just stops here? Okay, like that's the thing I think about. Like, why did it just stop here? It doesn't just stop.
Order flow.
Everything is algorithmic. So it's stopping here because it's indicating to me that this specific fair value gap is being respected. Why? Because it's in the premium of the range from this high all the way down to this low. If I take a fib from this swing point here down to here, where are we? We're above the 50%. We're also in this 15-minute fair value gap. So that's indicating to me that we're going to respect it and push down lower. But let's just say you weren't confident, you didn't enter here. That's fine. So what are you going to do? Okay, right as I see price form this next candle, what does that indicate to me again on a higher time frame based off of what I told you guys before? This is a wick. Like if I go to a 2-minute, which I'm not going to go to it right now, you'll see that this is like a wick. So what am I going to do? I'm going to wait for the next down close candle to form, manipulate higher into the body of this candle, and then that's where I'm going to enter. And this is majority of my entries look like this. Now my stop loss might be a little bit larger, but that's fine.
When you place your stop loss, you're not using any type of predetermined amount of pips, or you're just putting it above highs and lows.
So when I trade futures, I have a standard set amount of like I know that my stop losses are going to range from, for example, 50 ticks to 100 ticks. So I know that if I trade with one mini, which is valued at $5 per tick, that means that my stop loss
50 ticks is 5 points, correct?
No, so there is 4 ticks and 1 point on next. If you're trading gold futures, it's going to be 10 ticks is 1 point. So every asset has its own, which you learn, and I'm sure I'll have an entire page mapped out on the future on the Fortunes Funding. I'll type up a whole entire essay for that. Right. Just you traders can have access to that and they'll know. Right. But so I know that my stop loss is likely not going to be over 100 ticks. Now, in the instance that I predetermine my stop loss and it's more than 100 ticks, I'll adjust my contracts accordingly. Or for example, here, because it's only 27 ticks, I might increase my size a bit because I'm willing to lose up to, for example, $500 in a trade on, maybe my 50K funded or my 100K funded. I'm willing to lose up to $500. So I'll kind of do it manually in my head. I've been doing this for so long. I can just immediately, I know, like, by looking at this, what my
someone asked roughly what would you say your win percentage is?
Yeah, so I'll give that to you. So it depends. If I'm doing very I'm trying to top tick, I'm trying to be that person that's catching tops and bottoms and everything, my win rate does suffer a bit. Okay, because if you're always having really tight stops,
The RR will save you in that scenario.
exactly. So my risk reward, like for example, this trade right here, it's a almost a 9 hour trade. So like if I can lose 8 trades in a row and this one trade will still put me in profit, right? Because my risk is so small, yet my profit is so large. Okay, that's assuming that you keep the risk consistent. Now, if I'm doing bigger trades, like in terms of bigger stop losses, letting them breathe, not really caring about having such precise entries, my win rate usually is about like 70 to 90%. But if I am trying to top tick like this a lot, or maybe like catching the bottoms and everything, my win rate does suffer. It can go down to as low as maybe 35 or 40%. But again, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you're still profitable, like I don't really look at that. It just depends on what stage I'm in or what market environment I'm in. Because if I'm trading ranges and then I understand how to trade ranges, it just depends again on what market conditions that we're trading within. But in this example here, okay, I could have entered either here or here. Now here, my stop loss would have suffered. Now the reason why I have it above here is simply because when Nasdaq runs, it runs. I wanted to aggressively displace away from my entry. So this would have been a great entry right here. Again, my TP is going to be here. My risk reward is obviously a lot less. So in this instance, I would have entered with one contract. Up here, I would have probably entered in with two.
More confirmed, more,
Yeah, or what I sometimes do is, and this is I do this a lot, and this is my favorite way to do it, is I'll enter one contract here, and then I'll scale in another one right here. That way my entry might average in, and it's right here. So that's another great way. Another entry that I could have taken could have been, for example, right here. Let's just say I missed the overall good entry right here. We have this order block that got formed. Okay, price displaced through here. We also have this gap that gets disrespected, now becomes an inversion for value gap. Right as price pushes back up into here, I'll enter with my stop loss above here. And then you can see price beautifully displaces here. Now let's just say I missed this entry. So there's an entry right here. Okay, there's an entry right here. Okay, another entry is right here. Right as price is shifting through these, once we displace through this down close, I mean there's two consecutive up close candles. There's another change in the same delivery on the 1 minute time frame. I want to see price come back up and touch it. Now it might not always touch it, and that just means I just won't take every single trade. But in the instance that it does come up and touch it, and it does offer me another
touch, what exactly? Sorry, the blue line. What is that line?
no, the blue line is representing that liquidity. We'll delete this.
Okay.
But the bottom of this specific up close candle right here is where I would like to see price touch, and I could have a limit order set here for price to come up and tap it, and then my stop loss would be above here, and then that would be another area for me to enter in as well. Now let's just say that you wanted to see price. Let's just say you missed this entry right here. What are you going to do? Remember, price is always going to come back up into origin. And what did I also say? After sweeping an area of liquidity, price is going to retrace. Okay, so right here, for example, price retraces up into the range. Let's just say you thought that, okay, price is going to come up into here and then displace lower. You see this gap right here that price trades into. Okay, this inversion fair value gap right here. Price comes in and trades into here. Okay, now we displace. Notice what happens here. There's a failure to close beneath this low right here. Price doesn't come down and take out this low. So what is that indicating to me? That's not indicating to me that now we're all of a sudden going to reverse. That's telling me that there needs to be buy side liquidity taken first before we continue down and take out sell side. So what am I going to do? I'm not just going to start forcing entries. I used to force entries here and get stopped out. Oh, we're going to continue down lower, and then I'll just revenge trade and blow my account. No. What am I going to do? I'm going to wait for what exactly? I'm going to wait for the high that failed to put in the low, which is here. This high initiated this low. But what did this low not do? Take out this low. So this is considered a failure swing low. Okay? So I'm expecting price to take out the high that failed in to put in the low while also coming back up into premium. Okay? Premium of this range. So another entry gets offered right here. And then you can have
how are you determining that premium? Like what is I'm just trying to tell.
This high took out this high. So this is now our protected high. Okay. So I don't want to see this high violated as long as we're going to continue pushing down lower.
What is the criteria of that? Is that box just like a whimsically drawn box, or is that like actually
order block? Because we had a change in the same
order block. Okay, the order block. I understand.
Now remember, this low still hasn't been taken out yet. This low hasn't been taken out. We failed to take it out here. Okay. Then price came back up. We failed to take out this low and this low here. So what are we doing? We're generating sell side liquidity. So all these people are trying to buy here. Okay. They're thinking, oh, we're pushing up to these highs. But no, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this is the protected high. I don't want to see this violated. So this is now going to become my, remember I told you guys in the beginning, you can have internal dealing ranges within the overall dealing range. So this is the range that we're currently trading within. We can Okay, so this high right here is up in the premium, which is great because I want to see it get swept anyways. So what I'm not just going to enter right off of price sweeping this. Why? Because I'm expecting price to come deeper into the premium. So price comes up into the premium. We hit this order block right here, which is also referred to as quote unquote a sponsored candle, which is the candle that or the swing point that is responsible for sweeping the liquidity on the opposing end of the range. Again, I'm not entering if there was no manipulation. So in this scenario, there's manipulation above an old high. Okay, now I'm expecting sell side. So buy side has already been taken. We took out buy side here. You can see we took out buy side here. We're simply retracing back up into the premium. Okay, and then now I can enter targeting this low right here. And then I'm out. So I just gave you guys like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different entries, all off of the same exact price leg. Like the same exact area of price. There's 6 different entries in here, all targeting the same exact place. But how am I going to do this without higher time frame
By the
narrative?
way,
That's
someone asked before, can you use a strategy for swing, day trading, or just
anything.
scalping? Yeah,
Anything. You just break it down from the
it's the
time
same
frame.
recipe, just on a different time frame.
So for me, I'm breaking it down from the 1 hour to the 15 to the 1. But this could have very easily been a daily chart.
Right.
Like this right here could be a daily chart, and then you can break it down into the 4. So you can use if you're using the daily, let's just say this is the daily chart. Then the next time frame that I use, because this is the 1 hour, is the 15 minute. If you're using the daily chart as your overall bias, you can break it down into the 4 hour. And then you can enter off of the 15 minute or the 1 hour. So it's the same thing. Same thing. Price is
Yeah.
fractal, it's the same exact thing.
Yeah, it's
And
a
I can
lot. It's a lot. I mean, we have the VOD, and I want to give everyone fair time. I mean,
Yeah, I know. I can
yeah.
sit here and talk for
No,
hours.
I know. You're pontificating, and I appreciate it. But yeah, I want to just really jump onto someone else. We have the VOD. Like if you need to go review, I know it's all there. Like, and I'm not an ICT trader, but like I definitely understand some of the concepts. But it's definitely there. So not to cut you off as well, but like I definitely have to,
No, we're good. I explained one day. It'll take me 2 hours to explain the
Yeah,
rest.
I know.
No worries. Hope you guys learned something. You guys got some
Yes.
value from everything that I said. I know I talked very fast. I
Yeah, it's
explained a
a
lot,
yeah. Well, it's
but
there. If you guys want to go review it, this whole thing is recorded. Go back and watch it again. Watch it a couple times because it is there, and I'm actively making sense of it now. Um, let's jump. I feel bad, Mr. Sasaki. He's been patiently waiting. This is a representative from Black Arrow, the trading platform. So I'm gonna give you the floor for a bit, just to kind of discuss. A little bit about your company and just what you have the floor for some time and just discuss a little bit about Black Arrow and what makes you guys great and what also maybe you're actively working on, and then we can discuss maybe a little bit about a plan that we had discussed. I don't know if you were on that marketing call that we did like a couple weeks ago or no, right?
No, I wasn't that one, but that's not a problem. I can
Yeah,
explain
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
And if you guys allow me, I can even show the platform for like one
Yeah,
or two
yeah,
minutes, just
yeah,
show
yeah,
the
yeah,
highlight and
absolutely. Yeah,
the.
you're clear to share your screen. I have it on. I have it enabled for everyone.
Okay, so first of all, nice to meet you all. I'm Sasaki from Black Arrow, which is powered by Nelogica, a Brazilian company. I don't know if you are aware of that, but in Brazil, the futures market is huge,
Yeah,
and we got a regulated market here. I have been a trader for 6 years right now. I'm 30 years old, and it was very nice to hear the Andrew's story because I had something kind of similar. Like my dad wasn't really proud of me trading all day, and that kind of situation that got us in the market. So I can relate to some of the stuff that he said. And I have been working with Nelogica for 4 years right now. And like I was saying, in Brazil, 90% of retail traders um, are using our platforms. In Brazil, we have the Profit platform, which is we call that Black Arrow is the international brother of Profit because they're two platforms. They're very similar. I'm going to show you guys in a couple of seconds. And we are now expanding to other countries. Have been traveling a lot lately. I've been to Spain, Mexico, US, and then all of the countries to know how other traders from other countries trade as well. I'm a futures trader, by the way, And I'm not gonna have the time to explain my strategy here, but if I come back sometime, I can, talk a little bit as well, some of how I do my trades. But yeah,
By all
so
means,
we
if
are
you want to
planning.
share, some, by all means, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I can give you guys a little bit of what I do in trading, but yeah, so we were talking to James before, and we're planning to launch together this partnership, which is gonna be great because the Black Arrow platform has really good resources and features for especially for day traders in futures. I'm gonna show you guys right now. And then after I show the platform, and everyone who's here in the chat or even you guys, feel free to ask me anything about the platform. I know it's gonna look a little different from the other ones. I guess you guys are used to a trade, but I'm open to also hear questions here if anything is not clear. So I'm gonna show my screen right now. Um,
Yep.
okay, okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes. Good to go. Yep.
Yes, we
Oh,
can.
perfect. Perfect. So,
So we got the you got the open PNL right now. What's going on?
yes, yes, I have a short position in Nasdaq. And by the way, that's part
Is
of
this
my.
your account or is this a
It's a demo account actually
okay?
because I can. Yeah, I can be live.
Nah,
Yeah, but
I'm messing. I'm messing with you.
but yeah, that's so first thing. The platform just looks like this. I'm even going to delete this moving average so you guys can see clearly how it looks like. I have a short position here is my demo account.
By the way,
So
everyone,
first,
this is the platform. Sorry to cut you off. This is the platform that we're using for our futures option as our trading platform. Okay, so there's a lot out there, and we've done some due diligence. I know a lot of people like Trade Evade and they like certain things. This is a good platform. I tested it myself. I'm still getting acquainted with it, but I genuinely do like it, and it's pretty intuitive. Obviously, any platform you gotta kind of find your way around, but it's pretty straightforward to be honest with you. It's not like overly cumbersome to navigate, and you can easily delete the things off that you don't need. Like for me, I just want to see the chart, and like that's really it. I don't need like all the order book stuff and everything, but it is nice to have. Like it's there as and I don't know if I can share what someone told me, but you guys are having an integration with a very big trading software provider.
yes,
I don't know if I can say what it is.
yeah, you can see it, no problem.
What you're saying with Bookmap.
Yeah, with Bookmap,
Yeah,
we just bought them. Yeah,
yeah, they just bought Bookmap. Anyone that knows Bookmap is like a heat map where you can see like order flow and things like that. So that, from what I understand, you're going to be integrating Bookmap into Black Arrow itself, correct?
yes.
Amazing. So that's definitely a big. That's pretty big. That's pretty big, honestly. But yeah, just wanted to share that with you all. But this is the trading platform that you will be able to utilize on Fortress Funding. So yeah, take it away.
Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoy it because one of the differences that Black Arrow has when compared to other platforms is that every week, so every Thursday, we got an update on the platform, and anything that we change is based on the users' suggestions, users' comments, and feedback. So right now, the platform has over 60 features, over 80 indicators. So I'm going to show you guys right now. And all of them came from our users. So they are weekly suggesting to us improvements, and we are taking these suggestions in our platform. So, okay. Like you're saying, James, a lot of people prefer to get it simple. So you can use Black Arrow just like this. So just the chart and that's it
Right.
if you prefer it.
Right.
But for my, let's say, workspace, I usually just keep some stuff here that I'm gonna explain to you guys. So it's a multi-broker platform, which means you can have multiple accounts here, which is good. So you can have different accounts on the same platform. In the right side of the Black Arrow platform, I have some information here, such as by market. I can basically you can see how easy you can place order when. Let me close this one so you guys can see all the demonstration. Well, if I want to place a buy order, for example, I basically press Shift on my keyboard. I click here, and there you go. That's my order there. If I
Oh,
change my
that's
mind, I don't
dangerous.
want to. Yeah, and yeah, it's that quick. And
Yikes.
if I change my mind, I don't want to do that trade anymore. I just click there. There's an X in here. There you go. No order anymore. So it's really easy. So it's shift for buy orders and alt for sell orders. I'm also able to buy a market and sell a market just by clicking here, just like that. That's the Nasdaq futures. You can see that whenever I click, my take profit and my stop loss are right away here. So why is it? Because I already have preset my stop loss and my take profit. I How can I do it? So I'm gonna cancel this one. I have this option here, which one of the first that we suggest you guys to start using, which is, let's say I have my, let's say, for fortunes strategy. Okay, so just as an example, strategy. Okay, so let's say whenever I get into a trade, I'm looking for, I don't know, just an example, guys, $500, and I'm willing to $350 loss. I can, by the way, I can also, this is in cash, so money, but if I prefer, I can set up in percentage on the trade or ticks or pips, how you guys say. So I click here on save this strategy, click on yes and okay. Then I choose here, I fortunes strategy. And by the time I click on here, you can see that I already have my stop loss and my take profit on the platform. If, let's give an example. So for some reason, I forget to do this. So I'm gonna sell here. I have my stop loss either or my take profit. I basically click and drag up like this. There you go. That's my stop loss. And drag is down. There you go as well. So you can see how fast and how easy it is to place trades, um, to cancel the trades, place the take profit, stop loss, and so on. So it's that simple. If I want to cancel all the orders, I click here, and that's the way to go. So these are the order executing features. When it comes to indicators, I click on any point on the platform and click on add indicator. We've got over 60 indicators. And here I have some of the most famous Bollinger Bands, moving average, counter channels, and so on. But on the left area, I have a whole list, and it is organized by categories. So oscillator indicators, volume indicators, volatility indicators, trend indicators such as moving average, and so on. If I want to use one of them, so the most popular one, which is moving average, I basically click here, moving average. I click on add. Uh, I personally like to use the 21 moving average, so I'm gonna go with this one. Click on OK, and there you go. That's one of them. So it is that simple. One of the greatest things about Black Arrow platform is that everything, when I mean everything, is really anything, is customizable. The colors of everything. I was looking at Andrew's chart, and he uses the the candles in green and black. I was seeing, so you can do this on Black Arrow as well. So I click here on view on the settings, appearance, and I can change the whole scheme if I want. So if you guys prefer to trade using the chart like this, so white background, I don't, to be honest, I don't like that much this one, but if you guys want it, you can use like this. Also, like us saying
Yeah,
before, trade.
white
So
backgrounds are crazy. Like any real trader, like you wouldn't have eyeballs left in your head if you
Stop
had.
right there, because my
Yeah.
background is white and I'm keeping it that way.
Oh no, you're crazy, bro.
okay,
What do
it's
you wear like welding glasses like when you trade or what do you wear?
Nah, I trade during the day. I'm not Batman. I'm just gonna be looking at the charts, bro. It's just you have to have the right color scheme. That's all.
I had to make mine gray because my eyes were like I can't even see far anymore. Like I'm
I
blind.
got 20/20 vision, so that helps.
Oh, okay. Well, not for long.
Yeah, I mean I use everything on the dark version because of my cell phone and stuff, so I'm used with that. But no, I ain't got no problem using the the white chart. So if I want to use just like Andrew's chart, I can click here, negative candle, black, and negative order as well. I apply here, yes, and okay. So does it look like the chart we're looking before? Yeah. So
Yeah, pretty much. Very good.
yeah. So you can you can feel home. Okay, in the first seconds of using the platform. That's what I mean. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. That's beautiful. And I love how it's very clear, the prices and everything. And I'm sure you can customize also the horizontal and vertical lines as well on the chart.
Yes, yes, you can. So let's say so for this case, what I see is that by the way, there's someone on the chat wondering about the log scale. We have that on the platform, so you can turn on and turn off the log scale if you want. Also, the horizontal lines, you can just click here. You can choose between showing them for, so there's a vertical grid and the horizontal one. I can turn them off, so it's gonna look like this. So very, very clean. Okay. In like for my style of trading, I usually keep at least the vertical ones because I can see. So this is the 5 minute chart, by the way. So I can see when the day actually started. So there is a vertical line for each time that they started here on Nasdaq index. So let me change into the 1 hour. So six. So another thing, if I want to change the time frame, I basically type on my keyboard 60 enter. There you go. That's a 1 hour candlestick chart. So there is one or vertical line for each day. There's how you can see it here. So yeah, you can turn them on off the way you prefer. So okay, those are like I said, we got over 6 indicators. This is just one of them. Um, in the left area, I've got the book for this asset. Just like James was saying, we bought Bookmap recently, so you guys are gonna be able to use the Bookmap inside the BlackRock platform. So you just using here as a window as well, which is great for the ones who like to analyze the flow and everything. This one is the watch list. So I used to trade CFDs and forex as well, and I still keep it here to sometimes take a look on those charts. So if I click here and drag to the window, it changes the asset right away. So you can basically create your list. So let's say you usually trade, I don't know, like 7 assets daily. So you put them here. You put specifically which ones you want to trade. Nasdaq, Russell, USD, Euro, and whenever you want, you just drag them in the platform, and there you go. If you prefer, I'm not the guy who sees a lot of charts at the same time, but you can do this on Black Arrow. So I was looking, I'm looking every time at one asset, but you can choose to place new charts here. So you can set up like this, and you're gonna have as up to six. So in the Pro version, you can have up to 6 charts simultaneously on the platform, just like this. You have, if you have a big monitor, you can use them. So okay, this was the watch list. Here on this area, I like to keep my performance summary. So this works like a tracking journal of my day. So each of these bars is one trade. By the way, and this is a demo account, so you guys know. Um, each of these is one trade that I placed today. So I've got two big gains and two losses. I can see the summary. So for today, or for this week, or for this month, what's my profit, the total of my losses, um, the winning percentage, so how many of the trades I usually win, and we all know that this is not necessarily the most important indicator, because some guys can get 80% winning trades, but they can still lose money if you don't take care of your uh, win rate. And I have some very useful information, just like what's the average PNL that I get when winning, so $200. What's the average when I'm losing? So $70. Okay, so I'm profitable generally. I as you guys are joking before about drawdowns and something like that, and here I have the drawdown for the day. If I want to see for the week and also for the month, um, this week, by the way, it's Sunday, so it's $140. So that's my drawdown. So that's the gain, the most that I had, and the basic stuff are these. If you guys, I can't see the chat on the YouTube, so if you guys have any specific questions, I can basically answer you guys. But those were the main features on the platform, and the thing that I want to address, like mostly, is it's really easy to customize. You can use like 7 or 10 windows if you want to, just like I usually I used to even more things at the same time. But if you want to keep just one chart, then that's okay. You basically are going to have your Blacker platform like this. Let's say you a lot of people in Brazil use like this with the volume, financial volume indicator, just like this, and that's okay. You can trade like that. There's no, it's up to you. If you want to change the color of the candles and everything else, that's it. And so there's one last thing that you guys are gonna love probably. In the left area of the platform, I've got this chat. We call this connect chat. So you can have groups here inside your community, and we have a lot of them here in Brazil and other countries, where you can meet other traders, influencers, mentors. I saw Andrew talking about how mentors were important to him in his journey. So you can get to meet a lot of people in here, such as mentors as well. So it's pretty much social media like WhatsApp, Telegram, and the others, but just for traders. So you get to meet a lot of people. You can talk to me, by the way, here. If you type here Sasaki, I'm gonna be available. Um, so yeah, that's by the way, these features is one of the most used by our clients worldwide. Yeah, so now I think I went through the main features on the platform. Is there anything that you guys wanted to ask specifically on how to use on the platform, or something that you guys are used to use on the platforms and didn't see here in this, I don't know, 10-minute explanation?
And yeah, anyone in the chat have any questions, or Andrew? I know you said you like the platform, yeah. Yeah, you're
I know,
muted.
it's really good. I love it. Yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I
How?
really
Go ahead.
I really like the aspect of the data performance. Me personally, I'm big on data performance. This is what sets the professionals with the novices and the mediocre. People who are constantly doing self sabotage don't have any back end data to resort to. And I think this is a very, very important aspect, especially in our day to day as traders, just to be able to see what our output is versus the input that we're doing in the market. So that's amazing, man. I'm glad that we're incorporating that, and this will also help for fortunes funding traders on the future side to be held accountable, and also
Yeah.
as personally for me, like if I'm having to do mentorship and trying to check in and seeing like how people are doing, this is very helpful to just pop up, see what they've been doing, and then how we can help them from here. That definitely helps with our platform as well, because we are really on a mission to help seasoned traders, those who started with us back in 2023, along with current traders and even the new generation of traders. I've already had people at age 15 to 18 already reaching out to us, letting us know that, hey, we're paying attention and we want good guidance, and we can't get better performance out of that than just having the right technology. So thank you so much, Yi. Uh, this is very, very, very intuitive.
Yeah, I have
This is
one question, and there was also a question in the chat as well. But how soon do you anticipate to have the bookmap integration? And then part two of that question from the Steezies is: will we need a separate bookmap subscription, or will it be included inside of Black Arrow?
Yeah, so we are probably gonna have a separate subscription because it's an add-on. So
Right.
in the Blacker platform, we've got that's a good question because I didn't show that before. So we've got a store on the platform where you basically can buy some add-ons, just like Bookmap was. It's gonna be very soon one of them. About when, how soon we're gonna have this, we're expecting on this quarter, which means until we're July, so until October, right? So no, September, this quarter. So that's our expectation. So that's what the store looks like. You can basically buy indicators. You can get offers of courses here to improve your trading strategies. Um, Specifically, you can buy other signals. So, oh, I trade futures and I got the CME. Okay, but I also want to see the Nasdaq because I have some correlation that I want to see in the Nasdaq. Okay, you can buy the market data from Nasdaq even though you're trading CME. You can do it here on the platform. So, also there are some groups that are premium. So let's say James has a group where he teaches all of his best strategy. He can have one of these premium groups here of on his own, and
So
so
it's like a
Bookmap is going to be
marketplace
here.
essentially for influencers or trading notable traders, things like that.
Yes, yes, that's it. That's it. And not only that, but also for indicators. So the add-ons can be a group, like I said,
Yeah.
but you can also buy market data. You can have like, oh, a specific indicator that is a trend follower, for example. We've got this, let's give this example. We've got this AMZ trend finder. It helps you how to find a trend easily. Okay, so right now, for me, it shows in Brazilian reais because I'm in Brazil right now, but for you guys it's going to show up in the US dollars. So yeah, that's what the store looks like. Um, and Bookmap is going to be here just like the other add-ons. Yeah.
Yeah. Dope.
awesome.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
sick. That's very sick. I appreciate the breakdown. Definitely learned a bit more about the platform. And I appreciate your time as well. And I appreciate the willingness to provide a representative, like such as yourself. And I definitely get a very good feeling and about just moving forward with you and your team. And yeah, like I'm just genuinely happy to have a good working relationship with you all, and I look forward to expanding on the relationship. Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Let me get back here. Where do I? Okay, stop sharing. Thank you so much, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be here to. I'm enjoying this call, by the way.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be here for until the end. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be
Well, yeah,
here
we'll
the
be
other
on
guys
here
as
for at
well.
least another, 45 minutes or so, and we'll do a little
Yeah.
Q&A at the end. But yeah, no, absolutely. Again, really appreciate just everything. Yeah, for real. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. You're more than welcome to hang out in the Zoom, and if you have any inputs or whatever, by all means, yeah, definitely. Who wants to go next? Hans, you up?
I'll
You
go ahead
feeling
and go
it? Or
next.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were the panelist, so I was just waiting for you to name the next person to
Oh,
go.
yeah. You could call me that. You know.
Yeah, 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 playing many hats here.
Yeah.
First of all, I really appreciate everybody coming in and checking the conversations here on the chats. It does bring me joy, and it also brings a lot of old memories to see different people who were still rocking with Fortune's been waiting patiently for the long anticipated return of this great community. Thank you for this invite, James. It's always been a pleasure to be a friend and also a business
Absolutely.
partner and serve the community however we can. Now, if you guys are watching for the first time or just tuning in, thank you for tuning in. The name is Sir Hans Felix. And for those who've never met me for the first time, like I remember Andrew was like, "Yo, bro, I never heard of you," and I'm like, "Bro, me too." And so it's just funny that like over the years, like it doesn't require an assassin to always be loud until it's felt. And so for several years, I've played that role. I've I've played many hats. And when it came down to actually being a part of Fortune's funding in 2023, I not only joined hands, but I saw the vision. And so I started trading in 2015. And to be honest, every opportunity that has come my way, I've treated it with respect because I was once that person who's tuning in right now, wishing that one day they would be an educator or they would be a 6, 7 figure trader. And so we have these dreams starting out, not knowing where we would end up. And so, such is the case for many people here at Fortune's Funding, where I'm reading the conversations right now, and you can tell the frustrations. And it almost seems like not just Fortune's Funding, but different companies made our traders within the community feel the frustrations of feeling left out or feeling like they've been slighted or scammed. And as traders, we feel these emotions day in and day out in a market, along with an environment or an industry where sometimes we're at the bottom and all you have is the effort you put in, the grind that you have, and the hunger that burns deep in your heart. Um, I've been fortunate enough to be not only a trader, but as of right now, I play a role of consultant for many different private companies. I've managed 7 figures so far. I can proudly say that. Back in 2023, though, when I was coming in here, on the Fortune's Funding platform. I played the role of educator and also interviewer. So I'm seeing a couple of different names that I recognize that I personally had to, like, after their payout, be able to kind of learn their story a little bit. And I think we've probably interviewed about like 80 to 85 plus people alone. And shout out to Fortune's Funding. We've created a platform that no matter how small or large your payout was, we still took the time to give you a moment to really
Yeah, bro.
realize
A
where you
platform
came
to speak.
from and where you're going. So these are some of the culture habits that we had incorporated at Fortune's Funding, and it is quite sad that at some point it seemed like everything was just down and out, and here we are today, and many people are like, "Yo, this is really about to happen again, huh? Okay,
Yeah.
you guys are planning on bringing futures and all of that. So it just goes to show the dream does not die. A little bit about me. When I first started in 2015, I was in college. I had no idea how long this would last, but I knew it didn't matter as long as I had breath in my lungs, and I realized the impact of the skill set and that nobody could take it away from me, and that one day I could look at the face of certain circumstances or older employees or employers and let them know, listen, I know you said that $17 an hour or $23 an hour was what I'm worth, but today I can let you know I'm worth more than that. And I always knew I was. And I know that society says that $100,000 in a yearly salary was what somebody or a county is supposed to be um, categorized as. But there are people like the 90% that aspire to be like the 10%. And yes, the data says that 90% of traders fail in 90 days. Is very um it is very powerful to be able to one day, and I know some of y'all gonna feel me on this, to be able to say that I'm damn glad that I'm part of the 10%. The 10% that knows what it feels like to make six figures in a day, 7 figures in a year. Something that we never thought would be possible. Something that family members doubted us about. Something that we had damn near had to be delusional about, but to live and breathe abundance every single day in the midst of lack of consistency, hunger, depression, doubt, and everything that traders go through on a day-to-day basis, to stand here and play the role of a soldier that had withstood the test of time with battle scars, to be able to play roles like mentors and people that look up to you, not realizing that you're also human and you bleed too. This is what made us the fabric of who we are today. And so when I first started trading in 2015, I was just a guy in college. I was 23 years old. So for me to hear that some people now at 22 or 25 or 26 are living their dream or breaking out of a select matrix, I only had nothing but a dream and a hope that this would be a reality for me. And today I'm living my reality. And so I know a lot of people who had trusted certain companies to make this a part of their dreams. They feel like somehow they got let down. But the reality of a trader is every day we had to fight and wake up and show up not knowing what the market would actually hand and give, right? So throughout the years, I had to play the role of many things. And one of them was mentoring self. Because no matter how many analysis, no matter how much somebody could break down a chart for you, for example, I could tell you what my strategy is. But if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't know yourself, and you don't identify with what you see, you're never going to be what you actually aspire to be. I see a lot of times in the comment section, a lot of people, especially traders who look up to one another or even grew up looking up to certain people. They're like, "Yo, one day that'll be me. One day that'll be me." And sometimes that can either be offensive or inspirational. Because if I'm waking up at 5 in the morning, if I'm doing 10,000 hours, if I'm literally turning on Zoom and having a one-on-one conversation with self, keeping myself accountable before being somebody else's mentor, all these years, I had to be my own consultant. I sought out mentorship from other people. Sometimes they didn't even line up with who I was. But here we are today, choosing a path where no matter what the excuse was, no matter who was supposed to help you along the road, you still got to show up for your family because their bills got to be paid. Our dreams got to be achieved, and no one is going to come to our rescue but us. So fast forward to 2017, I started seeing the differences in market changes. I've withstood multiple presidencies. I've I've been trading since Obama was president. I got to see Trump become president. I got to see Brexit, the market crash where 2,000 pips dropped in one single day on GBP USD. I was able to watch um, COVID happen in March 2020 when the market had more than a 30% correction. I've seen government shutdowns affect the market. I've survived countless NFPs, core CPIs, multiple accounts blown. We are survivors, guys. We are not just anybody who's sitting here trying to sell you a course. And we are definitely not the types of traders today who's sitting here trying to survive off of our courses that we're trying to like scam you out of. Listen, we don't even like to work with just anybody. I know personally I have high standards myself towards these years. All it taught me was to believe in myself and never let nobody play with your name. And so for me to earn my stripes in this industry, I had to make sure I came with results and consistency in a time every single day in my life where consistency and excellence was all I had. I had no choice to be mediocre because at the end of the day, to make six figures or even to get to a level that we are today, excellence was all we had. There are times I'm having like some of my worst performances. Like, for example, a few months ago in May, the market was so terrible, even I felt like a beginner. But the funny thing about it all was the fact that my past versions of sales, where I've been in several places before where I felt like a complete beginner, it was always one statement that kept me going. And it was that the market is a market of abundance. If the choppiness is not in favor of me, it's never that serious. Take a week off. And in days where I took losses and I felt like, yo, how am I going to come back from this? I had to make sure that my mind was not just trying to get false hope or filler words to actually be able to come back and stand up for myself. I had to know exactly under what circumstances, what chart analysis, what setup specifically spoke to me and what market conditions would actually favor me in order to walk away. A lot of traders till this very day are struggling with certain types of psychology that's still going to be required no matter whether you got your payout or not. This is not the first or the last challenge that you're going to take in life as a trader. And a lot of people in the comment section right now who are complaining about what happened to Fortunes, we really didn't have to come back here, but we still got unfinished business. But guess what? So do you. We seen the data. A lot of traders are still chasing past wins. They're still chasing ghosts. They're still looking at these challenges and congratulations as if they accomplished something. But guess what? Job's not finished. And we still see the data where a lot of traders are still blowing 17, 18, 20, 40 accounts and still not making it past phase two. Is this what you're ready to come back to do over here? The thing about trading right now in 2025 is we have no excuse but to be great. Over the years, as of the last 10 years as a trader, one thing I will definitely say is that you need to make sure not only you have the proper mentorship, but you need to make peace with your risk management, meaning your own self doubt can spill over into the charts. You need to be able, your walk away game got to be strong. Your defensive mechanisms have to be accounted for. Your self accountability has to be more powerful than ever because the truth of the matter is, us coming back on this platform also means we're looking for the next generation of traders that will pave the way. We're not just here to have you swipe your card because that's what we came here to do. Nah, listen, we know how to take care of our own bills. This is bigger than us. And so we're looking for these people who are coming in on our platform once everything is well structured again to see the next generation thrive so we can actually congratulate you guys, knowing what it's like to get your first payout, flying out to you guys, hopefully, so we could shake your hand in person to say, yo, we are proud of you. We know that you're doing this for your family. You're doing this for your legacy. This is bigger than you. So fast forward to so many years ago, these are the things that kept on pushing me till this day. Trust me, it's been losses that honestly, if I told my parents how much I lost getting to this point, they call me crazy. If I were to have conversations with other people outside of trading and how much money we could lose in a day, they'd be like, why are you gambling? They'd be like, why is it that you're still doing what you're doing? But guess what? It made us numb to numbers because we knew that whatever we lose, we can make it back tenfold. Under what circumstances? That's where the secrets lie. So, in my sets of years, I've learned a lot. I I learned how to fail forward. I've learned that it doesn't matter what platform I'm trading on, I'm still gonna have to put my best foot forward. And I understood that in order for me to get the respect out of my peers, like when me and James was out in Dubai and me and QB Stu was out here freaking just cruising Lambos, bro, in the streets of Dubai, bro. Do you understand what that full circle moment was like? The first, I didn't even get to see James on the flight. I just saw him when I pulled up. And the first thing he said was, damn, that boy is up.
Yeah, I could just tell, bro. I could just tell, like from being in a downward place that you were in, like not even what a year and a half, you know,
Yeah.
to like the moment I just saw you, like the aura, bro. Like just like the way you were carrying yourself, pulled up in the like it spoke
Pulled up in a
volumes
crazy
without
lamb. You
yeah,
feel me?
wrist was
All red.
crazy, Lambo, you know, wheels was crazy, everything. Like I was just
Yeah.
like, yo, like, and that's how it should be, bro. Like, cause when you go dormant and you really are doing the inner work and the work that nobody sees, you pop out with results because, like I
That's it.
said, every day you if you prioritize the right path, the one that brings you to your future, and you just make those constant decisions every day, I promise you there's no coincidence. Like it works every time. Like you will it might not be every day or every week that you're seeing crazy progress, but eventually it compounds and you end up where you need to be.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Um, I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so,
proud of you, bro. Like and not many people are able or willing to do that, you know, to just kind of go monk mode and just figure shit out and come back out with and continue to show up, bro. Like that's what
straight up.
happens in trading is you know how many people I know that just they trade, they start trading and then what happens? Like they stop. Like they just quit and then they never start back. It's one thing, like I took a lot of breaks throughout my own journey where I was
And
like,
they don't know
yo,
that.
this is overwhelming. Like, and it was never like I was like, yeah, maybe at times where it got really bad, I was like, damn, like, am I really capable of this? Like, you definitely question your own ability at some point or another. But my end goal was never like I'm not doing this. It was just like I'm just doing this the wrong way. I have to change my approach. Simple as that.
Absolutely. And you know, I'm gonna share something with y'all today. In 2024, that same year where I went to Dubai, I didn't know for sure I was gonna go to Dubai. I already spoken into existence in 2023 when I saw you at the FX Summit in Miami. Reasons why is like number one,
Yo, real quick, hey, yo, if you're a real one in this chat and you're watching this stream and you're actually paying attention, I want you to write in the chat, "I will never quit" right now, which is
I
what
will
Wendy.
never quit.
Everyone write. I'm gonna write it right now because like that's the truth. Like I will never quit. Like, and that's what
Right.
separates me from most people is that like I failed. I honestly I probably failed on a higher level than everybody in this entire call. Like I lost all my
I
money
bet.
multiple times. I borrowed money from loan sharks. I like people that were calling me saying they're gonna show up at my house like to collect this money. Like I put myself in a really bad position. But the difference was I will never quit. And like that's genuinely like what it will take. And like,
Straight
right
up.
now in the chat, I will never quit. Like everyone
Straight
drop
up.
that right now. If you're watching, you're paying attention.
You know what's crazy, James, that you're saying that? It's now I know why you told me not to take loans because
Yeah, right.
Now
Real
you
deal.
know.
Like
Now you
everybody
know.
listen.
I took out loans personally.
I literally wrote "I will quit." I wrote "I will quit" by accident.
I will
I took
never
out
take
I
out
will
loans like
never.
this.
No, yeah, but like,
I took
real
out
deal.
loans myself and I put them into a live account just to blow
That's
them
fire.
the next day.
Right.
I will never quit.
Like I would call James, I would call James like, what the hell am I supposed to do? I just took out a $30,000 loan. I threw it into a live account and now it's at zero now.
Right. They don't know how crazy it is, how delusional we had to be to get to a point where we know what it feels like to lose it all and still
I
bounce
will
back.
never
Bro, let
quit.
me tell you something. In 2024, last year, I made some of my biggest profits for certain private clients. And there's been times where I didn't even get paid out. Imagine making $250,000 and not get paid out a single dollar. In that same year, do you see the scar on my neck? Bro, I literally had neck spine surgery that same year last year. In that same month, before I went into surgery, I had a 6-figure day on FOMC, right? But guess what? On the days leading up to my surgery, I turned it up a notch because it was one statement that kept playing in my head. If you die on that operating table, make sure you die for something.
Yeah.
Make sure you leave a legacy behind for your family.
Yeah.
Make sure all these 10,000 hours that you put on the charts, you leave it on the ring. You want to ask somebody how bad do you want it? It's not just about the prop firms. Shit, we ain't even have prop firms growing up when we first started.
Yeah.
It had to be personal capital. Until this day, we still have to learn to be consistently profitable because money borrowed is not money earned. And you got to make it back in double. This is why, even till this day, when I'm working with private capital and private clients, I still have to be careful about how I approach money because some people's risk appetite is not the same as us. Some people want you to do 3% like a prop firm, right? And not do over 5% in a single day. Some people think it's unfair, but really, this is training you to be one of the best professionals out of your generation. When I started transitioning from prop firms into private capital, I realized that, yo, it's not about flipping $1,000 to, a million, or it's not about growing an account at insane numbers like we're able to do. Like I literally took 4K into 30K just a few months ago, right? However, it's about consistency. It's about understanding the risk appetite. It's understanding different layers of psychology, risk management psychology, defensive mechanism, execution mentality,
And
and knowing
another thing is, I want to expand on that. Like a lot of people see the flips and stuff like that, and like not realize like that even you can do a flip and still have risk management in the sense that like that particular account is not risk managed, like
right.
but the deposit was risk managed. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, I got 100K like in my bank account. All right, let me take five out and just risk it balls to the wall
yeah.
and do what
You
I gotta
gotta know
do with
what
it. You got
specific
to know how to,
setup
yeah,
is
allocate
equipped
your
to
bankroll.
to
Like,
commit that murder, bro.
right,
Like
right,
you gotta really believe and have convictions behind what you've seen, the repetitions of the setup that you know very well. Even if somebody woke you up from a nap, they're like, "Yo, what is your go-to setup? What is your battle of armor?
right,
What is your go-to weapon?"
right.
For me, sometimes that's the breaker block.
Someone,
Other times
Gabby,
it's the
Gabby
4 hour
said,
structure.
sorry, bro. Gabby said you're on a cliffhanger. She wants to hear the rest of your story with the surgery.
Thank you. So, um, in 2024, I had to go through a surgery. The surgery was neck spine surgery because I had survived an accident in 2023. Ironically, I was on my way to do a Fortune's Funding interview with Leah, and then 5 minutes prior to me making the way to my brother's studio in Tallahassee, a car T-boned us. And so, bro, the only thing I kept on worrying about is like, damn, the webinar is at 5 p.m. It's 4:55. I'm all shook up. And I just want to walk to the studio and do what I had to do because I didn't have enough time to tell Leah, hey, we're gonna have to reschedule. I gave the police report and I just walked up in there. I probably still had like glass residue on me. And I did the webinar like it was nothing, right? Leading up to the actual surgery, I remember the nurse was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing good." She said, "Do you know what you're in here for?" I said, "Yeah, I'm doing a surgery." And she said, "How's your soul?" And I kind of looked at him like, wait, is that not supposed to be outside of your scope of practice of asking me about my like faith? But I understood on a spiritual level what was going on here. What I was really being tested with was, hey, given the fact that you cross into that operating table and you don't make it out, did you live? Did you actually put it all on the line? Were you living in alignment? Were you living with love in your heart? Do you have any rights that you any wrongs that you didn't make right? So I told her and said, "Hey, I've been living out of love for as long as I can remember. There's not somebody that I didn't tell them I love them. There's not a day that I woke up and I went 90%. I went 100% every time. And so whatever happens to me on that operating table, I know in my heart that I feel weightless and let God be praised in whatever happens." And she said, "Okay, you're ready." And that's when I knew, bro. That's when I knew because I didn't even have any doubts in the back of my mind that I didn't put that 50 lotto on the minute that I had the opportunity to do it.
right.
Jerome Powell said good afternoon and I was like, bet. You feel me? So like I don't have enough time to really go through the full story, but let me tell you guys something today, man. It is a pleasure. It is an honor to be a trader, to actually know that I didn't have to call out of work to do that surgery.
Yeah.
We didn't have to call our boss and say, "Hey, we're going to make that trip to Dubai. Like, can we take a 2 week notice?" Nah, we booked the flight. In fact, we booked it with a plus one and we flew all the way across the world to represent our community. And so I just want to close out with this. Never doubt your ability to break and bend the reality of your timeline for the sake of your generation because you don't know what's actually being recorded in your DNA to make greatness happen outside of the only generation that you see. So, thank you for having me on, bro.
Thank you for
Somebody
being here,
said
bro.
if I want to show a little bit of my strategies, yeah, I could do that for like 2 to 3 minutes. There's other people who are
Yeah, yeah,
also.
yeah. I want to be on for like
Um,
another. I mean, we're gonna go for 2. It's already been 2 hours, but like, let's. Yeah, well, I mean, listen,
all
I'm
right,
not gonna cut you
so
short, but
definitely. Let me see if you guys can see my screen here.
damn, that SL would be SLing, bro. Nah, I just kept fucking with you.
I know, bro. That's why I love you, bro. Don't worry. All right. So,
Gloria says, "Thank you, Hans. Love you."
oh, appreciate that. Appreciate that, Gloria. One of my private
And
students.
Gabriella as well. Yeah, Gabby's very She said thank you for
Gabriella,
sharing.
yeah, I see you. I see you. Appreciate you. I see you. I see you. All right. So, one of my strategies is the previous day retest. My edge and the pairs that I trade are US 30, gold, GU, and honestly, I give Nasdaq a little love, but you'll usually catch me trading US 30 with my students in gold. Reason why is they give me a better bang for my buck, and honestly, me and gold go way back. You know, me and Shorty really locked in for life because this was the pair that gave me my first four-figure day in 2018. So one of the simplest strategies about US 30 is that no matter how much price might sell, is going to have to find itself a demand because the institutions and all the old heads got their money in the stock market, and US 30, aka the Dow Jones, is one of them. This is why me and James usually go back and forth because he loves taking sell trades, but I'm also visually
Hey,
ambidextrous. So I'm
everybody on Black Tuesday thought the same thing, and then there was Black Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
right,
It
right,
might be
right, right.
100 years ago, but I don't know. It could happen again.
Yeah. Right. So, as I said, I'm visually ambidextrous. I had to learn to see the market both ways and not just have an edge when the market is bearish. So, one of my strategies that I teach is one of them is the previous day retest strategy and the Friday to Tuesday strategy, where literally you will notice that the market on Thursdays and Fridays, once you mark them, the market tends to actually pull back in by Monday or Tuesday. And from there, the market typically swings for like 400, 500 points, depending on how much volume there are. And it's very consistent. And I needed strategies that were
Hans, can you
consistent.
sorry to cut, can you make your full screen?
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah, yeah, please.
All right, bet. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
better, guys?
much better. Yeah.
All right. So typically I use the 4 hour time frame and the 1 hour time frame and a 15-minute just for entry because typically as well, US 30 has consistent behavior of retesting the pre-market or the market open 9:30. So one thing that helped me to be very calm and smooth with trading is understanding the strategies behind the behavior of the algorithm, right? You will notice that sometimes at 9:30, the market will take off or it will pull back into the London session to where it will sweep the bottom. As soon as it sweeps the bottom like it's dusty, I'm getting prepared to scale in my positions with my stop loss below London, below the pre-market low, or below the last week low. For example, if I'm using my strategy and understanding um, Thursday where the market left off, typically if it's respecting a demand zone, I will put my stop loss below there and anticipate the market to target the previous day highs or targeting all the liquidity that's at the top to where I typically range my whole time between 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or certain times when the market retests the previous day low, it'll literally trade that direction until the end of the day. So I know some of my colleagues like Josh Pelton, he also trades US 30 consistently, and he knows what I'm talking about. So like one thing that I understand about my strategy is like I'm not an ICT um, purist, right? I'm a supply and demand dynamic trader. When the market adapts, so do I. I'm not a full fundamental trader. I make my fundamental discretion, but I'm not going to just stay married to a bias if it changes, right? For example, in February, since November of last year, the market was rallying bullish. What happened in February? All of a sudden, on the second week after Valentine's Day, the market had a different type of heartbreak. It started selling, right? And
Yeah.
folks was sick. They're like, yo, what's up? Trump just got, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's supposed to keep going. And that's when we realized, oh shit, it's been 3 years, but you know what? February is actually one of those months where the market does like to correct. And so I had to adapt my strategy. I'm like, damn, my bias was bullish for the whole entire like quarter, like Q1. Now I have to like literally start scaling and changing my strategies. And shit, you know what? By April, every time I knew my setup, I got smacked. Why? Because the market will literally sell off, pull back and come get you, and then continue choppiness on choppiness. And I literally had to adjust by putting my stop loss a lot faster in front of my entry. Why? because I had to adapt to the conditions. So that's one of the things that you guys need to understand if you're watching this right now. It doesn't matter the strategy. It's about how you can understand the variations of the behaviors of the market and how well you're able at adjusting through different variations of time. Because one thing that you need to remember is bad market conditions don't last, resilient traders do. All right. So if you guys are interested in learning more, there's a whole lot of that coming. That's why we told y'all to make sure you pulled up to this webinar because it's going to be a whole lot of gems. But we did not come here to sell you anything, but really relaunch
Of
the
course.
energy of Fortune's funding. So I'm going to give it back to James Storms and the
Yes,
crew.
sir.
Love to hear everybody
Thank you,
else on the
bro.
panel.
Yeah, no,
Hey, bro.
I appreciate that. I'm definitely gonna break down. Like we're gonna keep it short and sweet, and we're gonna be doing a lot more live sessions. And I'd like to maybe once a month or once every maybe bi-weekly we could do some type of call like this. We jump on a Sunday. We all just kind of share some value as much as we're willing to share. If we got some if we if we're got some gatekeepers out there. I'm not typically a gatekeeper, but what
Yeah,
I
I already see
specialize
what
in.
the point. Somebody gonna take a L anyway. It don't even
Yeah,
matter.
right.
Like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think there's definitely a lot of moving parts, like in terms of there's a lot of chess pieces moving. There's a lot of chess being played right now. Normally trading for me, technicals is like checkers, and then the fundamentals is more like chess. Like you have like
absolutely, absolutely.
bilateral movements and all. You got to play both. So. But no, I appreciate that. I don't know if Josh or, by the way, Anthony Hilfiger. I'm sorry, Anthony. I don't know if you're still on here or if you're present, but Anthony is also on the call as well, which I didn't introduce him earlier because he came in a little bit after I did the intros. But I don't know if Josh is here. So let's roll it over to Josh, Mr. Josh Pelton. Yeah, just
Yo,
share a little bit. Oh, Anthony's here as well. Cool.
I'll be quick. I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah,
quick.
yeah. Share
Yeah.
whatever you want to share. Like just this is your time. If you want to share a chart, you're more than welcome to. Or if you want
The
to just
mountain, Josh.
yeah,
That's funny. All right, so I'll be quick. I'll respect y'all's time. It's been a minute. So first and foremost, I just want to say like technicals and fundamentals are kind of the easy part of trading.
right.
Once you get, I think anybody can really get those with enough time spent.
Yep.
I think the real struggle for everybody is the psychological aspect of trading.
Right.
I think that if you study math long enough, you're going to learn math. If you study Spanish long enough, you're going to learn Spanish. But it's that deep kind of internal work that a lot of people shy away from, which is what allows you to kind of see things others can't, or know when to hold them and know when to fold them. So, and I think that's only gained from introspection,
Intuition and
and,
experience.
and experience. Exactly. So I think that's like the biggest thing I kind of want to touch on. I'll show some technicals though. Like I believe a fool makes the simple things complex and a genius makes the complex things simple. So I like to believe in a simpler approach in my trading. I've studied just about everybody in the game. I've seen the back end of things almost too much.
Things you can't unsee.
Things I can't
Yeah.
unsee. I've been around for too long. I've shook too many hands and lived in the place where the hub is of everybody that's a so-called trader. So
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all some technicals real quick. Let's see. How do I share? One second.
Should be the green arrow
Boom,
at the
right
yeah,
there down in the middle. Yep,
yeah.
been a minute. Okay, share. Boom. Okay, y'all can see this. So I take
Yes.
losses. I don't have my losses marked. I took like two last week to be fully transparent, like two or three last week actually. Some weeks, especially dealing with US 30, you got to understand. I've learned the hard way to only trade when it's trending. I've learned the
Facts.
hard way. So especially with something like US 30, you don't want to, personally with my strategy, you don't want to trade in this area, right? You don't want to trade in here. This is
Mhm.
obviously only through the 30-minute time frame. So if we go up to something like the daily, show you real quick. So I like to basically use time frame correlation. I like to use market structure, candlestick patterns, a 50 MA, which is what this is, and kind of just enough time spent on the charts to know or conclude even by looking at like how fast when US 30 opens, for example, like I specialize in that 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern
Oh
window.
yeah,
So
sweet, sweet.
I've looked at US 30 probably just about every day. It's traded for the last like 4 years pretty much. Every time it's opened on that New York session. So with that being said, you kind of learn things or see liquidity based on literally how fast it's moving on your chart. So that's like another thing that only comes with time and it's kind of hard to explain. But to keep it really simple, for example, on this daily, I'll come down from the monthly and weekly as well. So let's just do that. I just obviously don't check it as often because it's not changing as often. So obviously you see this 50 MA. This 50 MA is actually ridiculous. I don't even want to give it away for free, but here you go. The 50 MA is right there. So you see the monthly. I mean, if you were a swing trader and you see this, like this is absolutely ridiculous because I'm sure if we went down here in a lower time frame, you have candlestick patterns, market patterns showing you this reversal long before this ever actually came up here and closed. So I like to analyze like a swing trader and enter like a scalper. So I try to get the pinpointed. I go down to the 1 minute for my entries. I go from the monthly to the weekly to the daily to the 4 hour to the 2 hour to the 1 hour to the 30 minute, 15, 5, and 1. So I don't really use the three that's on there, and I don't really use the 3 hour that's on there, or the 45 minute really. Occasionally, maybe I'll check in on them, but those don't matter as much to me. I just don't find myself using them as much, but I'll use time frame correlation to get in market structure, overall higher time frame market structure to understand where we're going, what we're doing, et cetera, et cetera. So obviously, like once you see this close on a monthly, you're like, okay, we're just continuing the trend here. Like on a monthly time frame, on a large time frame. Once this looks like it's breaking, but once you get that body close, you're like, okay, wait, no, it didn't break. So now entries in here are even safer. I know when I do that, I just don't want this to come up, so I'm moving it over here. So entries in here are safer. So if we go down to the weekly, so I have had a real buy bias for like months now, especially after this right here, especially after all this. Once we break above this 50 MA on the weekly and we start rejecting here, this once resistance turns into support, I now know we're going to keep buying, along with some fundamentals, with the 12-day war being ended recently, and that knowing that would be good,
Right.
for US 30, et cetera, et cetera. Like all of these things. Take apart, right, in what you're going to be doing with your trades. So come down to the daily. This is literally what I do. This is literally what I do and how simple I do it. All these zones are just little zones I see on smaller time frames like the 4 hour, 1 hour, etc. Um, boom, boom, boom. So you can see like on the daily, this double top, like I think I took some buys over here and ended up losing, but I knew they were risky because I saw this not continue on the daily. I saw this close on the daily right
You,
here
you think we're
beneath
gonna
the
be selling
body.
crazy next week, right?
Um, I
Oh
would
no,
assume we're
this
going to
week.
be selling this week. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the safe assumption. Is you have this double top, right? Again, that candlestick pattern. You have this double top on the daily. How I see it is the next stop. We may have some resistance around this 44,000 area where you see
Hmm.
this. May have
Hmm.
some resistance here. This is a crazy trade. I mean, I'll
Hmm.
go into that a little bit and how exactly and it's going to become so simple it's stupid. But anyways, this is like your M pattern, right? Typically your M patterns go at least below this middle point here. The next place I see it going will probably be somewhere in here because this candle had some resistance in it, 44. And if you go down to the smaller time frames, back step, go back here, I'm sure you potentially could find, yeah, right here, support, resistance. So this is our next area to go to. If we break below this, then I see it's going down somewhere around this area, the 43,000, or maybe 43, yeah, 200, 250. I use quarter points as well, kind of subconsciously. I just don't even think about it. If it's at a quarter point, it's just another, thing for me. It's just
Influence.
another confirmation. The 250, the 500, the 750, and the 000 is just another confirmation for me. Um, so we go down to the 4 hour. Boom. So I'll break down some of these buys. And I typically aim for high R to R. I still have a pretty high win rate respectively, but don't get me wrong. I've had weeks where like I've taken 4 losses in a row and I'm like, fuck man, like what am I doing? And typically during those weeks, I notice that we're in a consolidation in US 30 on higher time frames. So I'm like, okay, I'm not trading to what I know with US 30. I'm trying to get these moves in a consolidation phase. That's when I'll take all my losses. But then other times when we trend for 2 months, I may not lose a trade for 4 weeks in a row. So it's like that's kind of what I've learned with that. And that's a thing through experience and time in my trading strategy specifically. So and I don't specifically trade US 30, but honestly, like if it's not broken, don't fix it. So I've kind of just stuck with it. And it's kind of become what I exclusively trade. But, you
And
know,
that's something like I want to expand on that as well. Is that like, listen, like we're skilled, we're the panelists, right? Like, but we're at the end of the day, we're gladiators. Like, even the best gladiator, guess what? Like, he can get stabbed too, and he can
oh,
get
Right.
stabbed
Battle
five
scars.
times in a row. Like, so don't think that just because you're losing or it doesn't mean that your strategy is inherently bad or you're bad at what you're doing, because there is an element of probability associated with this. And sometimes there's just improbable shit happens, unfortunately, like, which can be good or bad. You could improbably hit a 10 wins in a row, or you could improbably lose 5 trades in a row. It doesn't mean that what you're doing is bad or anything. That's why you have to account for those outliers in terms of probability. But go ahead.
right. Yeah. Nothing's ever 100% in this game. And that's why risk management is so huge.
Right.
That's kind of that's like one of the core determining factors between, I think, the people that are in this for a long time and in this for a short time
Right.
is simple factor of risk management. Unless you know you have other income streams or you have different accounts for your account flipping and stuff
Right.
like
Exactly.
I don't think it's a good idea for people to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna, send this whole thing on this one trade. It's like be, be wise. Like be wise. I don't believe in like being realistic, but have some wisdom in you to know, hey, if I'm pulling in, 5K a month for my 9 to 5 and I have a 5K trading account, am I gonna fully and I got, 5K in the bank, am I gonna fully send that 5K in my trading
Yeah,
account?
you're gonna risk like 50% of your net worth on one trade.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
right.
it's
It's
probably
like
not gonna work out for you.
kind of silly, right? So
Yo.
But
don't
it could too. You could
it could
double your net worth too at the
it
same
could,
time. So
right? But that's
James is
but
on
that's what
both
fucks
sides of that spectrum.
people's heads up because it's like what if you took 1,000 though, and you took 1,000 to 5,000, and
Right.
then you took that 1,000 out the original
the
investment, and
problem is
you're in
that
for
everyone
four.
is going to have winning trades. Like
Yeah,
you will have
yeah,
luck, like positive luck. The problem is once you start winning with that like much, let's
right,
say with that much
Return.
not even return, just like how much it means to you, like with that much intensity, like in
right,
your own journey. The problem is that that's when greed really grips
right,
you,
And
right?
that's when
Because
you need
like
to start withdrawing.
that's where you need to manipulate your balance, and that's why withdrawals are so key. Like when the money is so important to you and you finally get some type of money, you have to withdraw that money, because you'll never escape the grips of greed no matter how much you get to. It doesn't matter. Andrew, like, I don't mean to like use you as like a bad example, but Andrew, like, like money that comes, even myself too, like money that comes really fast, you make 7 figures like in almost seemingly overnight. Like, it is so easy for it to go just as quickly, but you don't think that it would affect you like that until you're actually there, and then all the endorphins, all the emotions, everything is so powerful. Like, all you don't make the logical decision, like, unfortunately.
You
So
don't.
go ahead,
yeah.
You
Andrew.
gotta go through that
It's
fuck up a
Add
few
some,
times though, just like so it could like really set in.
Go ahead,
And
Andrew.
yeah, I wanted to add something as well into the aspect of losses. And I tell this to all my students. There's going to be 3 or 4 main reasons you take a loss. Either you're completely offsides, you enter too early, you improperly manage your position, meaning you maybe trailed your stop loss too close, which typically happens if you're risking too much. So if you're risking too much and you notice that like maybe you're not okay with that loss, maybe you only were okay with losing $500, but now your stop loss is set at you risking 1,000, and then you improperly trail your stop loss. So then now you're emotionally trading at this point. That's you get prematurely stopped out, and then price can run in your favor. Or what's the last reason? The last reason. So I said you're wrong. You mismanage your position, or well, I can't even think about what I said. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's always going to be a reason why your trade failed. Like I don't believe in, and you guys might disagree with me, but there's always a reason why you were wrong. Like I don't like the traders that say, "Oh, like the market was just not in my favor." No,
Yeah,
I
it's
like to sit down and diagnose what specifically happened at that
straight
level
up.
of price that resulted in me taking a loss. Because I could sit down and really pinpoint it. Maybe I didn't pay attention to this specific gap, or maybe this candle failed to close above this candle, or maybe something, there's always going to be a specific reason on why you took that loss. So, whenever you take a loss, really sit down and analyze it. Before you hop into the next trade, which used to be my biggest problem, I would take a loss and like Hans was saying earlier, it's not good to marry your bias. If you take a loss and you still think that price is going up higher, before you just spam another entry thinking that it's going to continue in that direction, really sit down and say, okay, do I need to be patient a little bit? Do I need to sit on my hands and say, okay, is price still gonna go up, but maybe it just needs to come back down a little bit more before it goes back? Like you need to ask yourself these questions. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself revenge trading, over
You
leveraging.
gotta go into your bathroom and look in the mirror because that's what trading is.
Exactly.
Facts.
Again, Hans, sorry to cut you off, Josh, as well,
Oh
but
no, y'all are good. Y'all are good. It's open
Hans
discussion.
really made a
Appreciate it.
great point, and I guess everybody here made a great point as well. I noticed that my trading became the best when every other aspect outside in my life was in line. Like if
Absolutely.
James told me run a mile. Now I did it for 2 weeks. I had lower back problems, whatever. I said, you know what? If I can't run a mile, I'm gonna do something else that's challenging to myself. The point wasn't for me to run a mile. The point was for me to do something that's difficult every single day. That regardless of how I feel, I'm gonna get that shit done. Okay. For me, I don't like doing cardio. I really don't, but I have to force myself to do it every single day. I don't like waking up early either. But I know that if I don't wake up early, then my days are not going to be as good. So if I get on the charts at, for example, 8:30 or 9:30, right before market open, then I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. Why? Because that time, that extra 2 or 3 hours in the morning is my time to work on myself, read, go for a walk, go for a run, go do some cardio, hit the gym, do whatever else I need to do to get myself on track, stack up these small wins so that when I go onto the chart, I'm not just chasing dopamine. A lot of us are dopamine trading. We're just chasing a high. So whenever we get onto the charts, you just find yourself clicking buttons and then you wonder why you blow your funded account. I've had so many instances. I think last year alone, I think I screwed myself out of $400,000 in payouts simply because I was either rushing or I was dopamine trading. Like there was so many days where I would blow my Apex accounts the day before a payout. And that payout was supposed to be 60K. Or like before Top Step put their cap on how much you can withdraw, I remember I ran up 550K accounts to $22,000 in profit. And then I hit the max daily drawdown on one day. I was trading on the way to waiting for my flight, which I knew I shouldn't have been trading. I was just rushing, trying to click buttons. And then I hit my max day loss. And then the next day I'm trying to make back that max day loss. And then I hit it again. And I hit it again. And then slowly over the course of the next 4 or 5 days, I just rinsed the entire account to zero. And then there goes my payout. So it's just, again, like you have to be consciously aware of what you're doing throughout your day. Like too many people are living their life like an NPC. Like they just don't know what's going on. They just live. They wake up, they eat, they sleep, they repeat. They go to work. It's the same shit every single day.
Everything
That's
comes
not,
down to awareness of everything that you do every single day, and that's like, and then I'm gonna expand on that, and then let's let Josh finish so we can keep the tempo going because we're starting to run long.
And I wanna add on to this.
Go ahead.
It's crazy because I've had a lot of similar situations, just like Andrew, and one of the biggest things that differentiated the times where I was doing that versus when I was actually locked in, focused, the way that we are right now, was just remember and really think back, especially when I started. Remember why you started this, right? Like think about the reason why you started this for real. Like it's so cliche. That's like one of the biggest things that they always say. Like really, every single mentor says this. A lot of like well-known mentors say, find a reason why you're doing this and remember that reason. If you're doing this, let's say for yourself, let's say you're doing this for, your significant other, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your cousin, to take care of them, right? One of the things that helped me is imagine the look on your mom's face when you got to go and tell her that you blew your account because you were being stupid and you were over trading and over
Just don't tell
leveraging.
her, bro. Just don't tell her.
Obviously, don't tell. Obviously, you don't want to tell them that, but eventually, you're gonna have to tell them.
Yeah,
So
they can
Right.
see it
Well,
on your
they're gonna
face by
see what your
now.
life. Yeah, they're gonna find out one way or another whether you tell them or not.
exactly,
Everybody at the
exactly.
crib know that
Eventually,
face.
eventually, people are gonna find out one way or
Fuck
another
that.
if you blew that account or if you actually followed through with the process. So I'll just say, remember that reason why you got started, and remember that throughout, not only just when you get started in the process, but throughout the process while you're trading, while you're building a funded account, because that's going to keep you in the game, and that's going to keep you staying in the game and keep on going in the game. That makes sense.
Absolutely.
Sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Josh,
Yeah,
take it away, brother.
eat the frog in the morning. You know, as like Andrew was saying, when you're the most like disciplined in your life, your trading is better. Like you trade how you live and you live how you trade ultimately.
For sure.
So you know, man, I don't know of a single trader that's fat, like that's good. Like
I seen that post.
just being straight up. I have never met a trader that is out of shape that is a good trader because they're not disciplined in what they put in their mouth. Therefore, it's very hard for them to be disciplined on the charts in their own mind. It's a mind game. This whole thing is a mind game. Life is a mind game. So I think yeah, and to touch on the agree with James, it's like I mean shit, when I did 101K in Bali in 12 hours and I never saw any of that money, so I want to touch on that too because it was a prop firm 400K account. And that's another thing is like with the prop firm itself, you guys got to understand, like you got a man James here you can actually trust. Like he's doing this to do right by people again. Like that, like that's a part like some people don't understand because I saw some of the comments and I'm like, if people understood where James heart is at, they would understand like what's really going on here. And I
Yeah.
want to,
We
you
wouldn't
know,
even
so
be standing by
And
this guy right now,
yeah,
bro.
and
Like, come
I'll touch
on.
on that really quickly. Like it just simply one, I empathize with everybody. I'm a very empathetic person, so I can put myself in someone else's shoes that's pissed off and looking at someone to blame because I am the person to blame ultimately, and I do take responsibility, but also like you don't understand all the logistics, you don't understand the other people that were involved. That imagine you own a building, right? If you own Fortune's funding building, but you only have keys to 50% of the rooms even though you're the owner. Like how do you get inside that room and know what's going on and have the ability to influence the productivity and the output of that room when you don't have the keys to it? So that's where I fucked up, was that I allowed people to have keys to rooms in my building that I didn't have the keys to, and the control and the ability to manipulate, or not, like just the malleability of it. Like I didn't have the ability to like, to mold the direction that we were going, unfortunately. So we had to stop. We had to cease operations. We had to clean house, settle up debts and payment processors and this and that. It's a lot of logistics, unfortunately. That's why it took so long. Then I had to find new tech, had to find web developers, had to put together the team, had to get all my ambassadors together, had to get myself together. I got my own shit going on with my own life and my own family, and I'm a public figure, and it's just a lot, unfortunately. Like, and a lot of people got wrapped up in it, which was never my intention. And someone in the chat was upset before, and I'm, here going back and forth to them, and they said you might as well have just done a new name, a new company. I'm like, why the fuck would I do that? Like, that's like me just, what am I going to sweep the glass under the rug and let everyone just fucking step on it? Or I'm going to just be here and I'm going to pick the glass out of your fucking feet. Like, that's my plan, is to make everyone whole again, to get everyone paid, to issue all the accounts. But you have to understand, like, it's a brand new company. So now we're starting with a deficit. The company is an inherently risky business, and like, not doesn't have to be risky, but like there is risk involved. It's not like drop shipping where I'm buying a fucking lava lamp and I have this tangible product to give to. It's a little bit different. Like, you got good traders, you got bad traders, you got guys coming in here and make a killing. You got to manage all these moving parts, and the industry has changed a lot. And also when we did, listen, I'll call a spade a spade. We went insolvent because I stopped promoting the company because I was clashing with my partners, and then also our flow of capital was interrupted when MetaQuotes cut off everybody. So they cut off all of our accounts. We had to migrate and move to different platforms. The migration was handled really, really poorly, unfortunately, and I didn't get to control that. That's where we really started butting heads. And I was like, yo, I'm done. Like, I'm not promoting this. Like, we're shutting this shit down. And unfortunately, there were people left holding the bag because, like, that's how the prop firm business works. Like, and if you're not actively managing your capital properly, then you run a deficit. And when I stopped promoting it, I'm not having new influx. People stopped seeing me promoting it. They went to other firms. And unfortunately, people that were owed payouts, like, were left with their owed payouts. And, like, doesn't mean that I'm not working on getting them paid, because that is my whole goal. I don't care about me making money from this. Like honestly, I barely even made any fucking money. Like most of the traders that got paid made more money in the whole year and a half that we operated than I actually made. I made a negligible amount of money, and I just spent it all relaunching this shit on web developers, CRM tech, fucking on a lot of shit, like the trading platforms. Like all this costs money, you know. So it's not free. Okay, so whatever I made, quote unquote, reinvested it right back, and I will continue to reinvest it, and I'll continue to reinvest in the community, because like that's what I believe in, and that's where we're going. And for me to get to the top, like I'm gonna make sure the scales are always slightly tipped in the trader's favor. As long as it's fair for us and more than fair for you, cool for me. I don't even care if I make a single dollar, because like thank God, like what's on the fucking candlesticks on the screen, like that's good enough for me. Like I'm good off that, you know. So but yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And yeah, like we'll clip that and we'll run that shit up. And Josh, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So I bring that up because y'all don't understand. You're talking to James right now.
Yeah,
The
right,
guys I was dealing with in Australia told me it would take 9 days, 10 days, kept pushing it back,
right,
making false promises. And then the company went poof, and I never heard from them again.
right.
There was no even dignity. There was no authenticity there. There was no transparency there. There was
None.
no nothing. So what I'm trying to get at by bringing that up is you guys are looking at the guy and talking to the guy and have direct access to the guy who owned the company, and you know what I'm saying, and now has full actual ownership and can actually do right. So it's like in my head, y'all are fucking fine. You know what I mean? Like I get
Yeah,
it. It can be
yeah. Like I
frustrating,
said,
but y'all are gonna be taken care of.
I
You know what I
get,
mean?
yeah. I
Like,
mean, if anybody
yeah,
that knows me knows who I am. If you
right,
don't know me,
yeah,
then I guess I
right,
understand, because people come
right,
from everywhere at this point. But I understand. Listen, it's a shitty situation. A lot of firms have gone insolvent and nobody got paid. And like, but the difference is like I'm right here. Like you
right.
just said, I'm right here on
Right.
the
It's like
call.
you're coming back. Like I don't hear anything. I don't know where
Yeah,
that company went. It's gone,
I've
bro.
been
They
in the
had a
Discord. I've been
lawsuit and they're
communicating
gone.
with
Yo, it's
people.
been two
Right.
years. There's some faces
Right.
I haven't seen since,
Yeah,
Right.
but
right,
here we are.
Right.
right.
So yeah, so just all that to bring that up and then just talk about like you guys don't realize how authentic of a owner of this company is, and you guys don't realize how shady the business is that he couldn't control. And so I just want to give you props on that, man, because
Yeah,
in front of everybody, because
I
it's a
appreciate it.
real motherfucking thing to do, and not a
Yeah,
lot of
bro.
people can fucking do that shit. And
Straight
it takes
flowers,
balls to
bro.
do that
Straight
shit.
flowers.
And
Yeah, no,
that's
it's a risk, bro. I'm taking a risk. Like
yeah,
I'm betting once again, betting on myself and betting on like the vision and just the tenacity of like who I am. And you know, cuz like maybe I reinvest and maybe nobody fucks with me no more, and maybe like I could have all these doubts, like, you know, just like I have doubts about maybe I can't do it, maybe I can't make money. Doesn't matter. Like I don't think like there's always the outcome of failure, but I do not focus on it. I always think about, well, maybe people do, like maybe it's gonna work out. Maybe it'll be even better than I ever thought. Maybe now that we got futures, maybe now that we got better tech, maybe now that like you could in the sky, you could have a split down the middle. You could have clouds on one side, you could have rain on another side. Like
In the words of
it's
Jerome
sun.
Powell, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about this.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like like
We got
that's really it.
Mr.
Like I could
Anthony.
focus on one or two sides, and right now I'm focused on all the upside, all the positives, get everyone paid, getting us back our name back in the discussion, and that's what this objective of this call is, and just give you guys a little bit of value, introduce the guys that we have, and that's what we're here for, you know. So,
Still got a
um,
couple people that haven't spoken.
yeah, yeah, Josh, I'm sorry, you
yeah,
want to
yeah,
get yeah
yeah.
go
No,
yeah
I'll wrap up. So
yeah
basically,
sorry.
let me bring it down. You're good. You're good. I'll wrap this up. Give me like 2 minutes,
Now take
or
it. Go ahead.
actually 2 minutes. Let me move this
I'm
down
starting
here.
the clock right now. 2 minutes.
You
Two
know,
minutes.
159.
Josh
Boom.
used
Go
to be a
ahead. All
preacher
right,
in his
boom. You come
past
down
life,
from the
so
hey, if y'all see the Instagram, I
2
took like
minutes,
60 seconds.
preacher
Hey,
Josh.
go from the monthly to the weekly, right? Go down to the daily, the 4 hour. Okay, boom. We see this candle on the 4 hour. Come down to the 1 hour or 2 hour. Just depends on how I'm feeling. I'll probably check both usually, honestly. But come down here. And now this is where you get real interesting and real fucking simple. And it just becomes fucking easy. And then it's just up to you and your own mind and emotions to be like, let me trust myself. I've seen this enough times to know it's gonna happen or it should happen, and the probability of it happening is more than me just pressing some button. So
Right.
that's the thing. You're never gonna have 100% to 0% trade win loss in like where it's gonna go, but you start at 50-50. All you have to do is get those odds to 60, 70 of it going your way. And then you're gonna win majority of your trades. And then you're gonna have, if you go to 1 to 2, 1 to 3 R to R's, you can't lose at this game, but you can beat yourself. You can beat yourself. Once you know the technicals and fundamentals, you're only beating yourself. If you lose, you're beating yourself. And if you don't study why you're beating yourself, you're never going to learn from it. Kind of like they were talking about earlier. It's like you have to study why you lost. There's a reason why you lost. Did you get in at a time that your strategy doesn't really work in? Like a consolidation phase, which is something I've learned from me. I can get smaller things, but I don't want smaller things that give me a 60-40 chance. I want bigger things that give me an 80-20 chance, a 90-10 chance of winning that. I want to feel so confident where there's nothing I'm seeing that's telling me it's going to go the other way. That's kind of the trades I want to take. And anytime I do the opposite of that, I take losses. Anytime I only get, three things and I'm like, fuck it, send it, that's when you lose. It's like, no, I want to be like, yeah, this is so obvious. My little brother could look at this chart and be like, that's gonna go up, and it's like it's simple. So with this, boom, you come down to the 1 hour. Where are we at? We're right on top of the 50 MA at a support level, a recent support level right here, right? You come down, and where else are we at? Okay, we're basically at a quarter point. We're within 50 points of a quarter point. That's 43,000. We close right here on this 1 hour. Where are we at? It's 2 p.m. Okay, cool. Sounds good. This was actually a late trade I got into, but it's like, okay, come down to 30 minute, scroll on over, go down. It's gonna be a little longer than 2 minutes. One more minute. Hold on. And then you come down here, right? And if you miss that off the 1 hour, come in here on the 30. Boom. Another point here, right? And that's the thing with people is they want everything to be so precise. Sometimes you just got to look at your area. Get involved in your area. I don't look at a quarter point like if it doesn't touch 44,000 or 43,000 exactly, that's not the quarter point. No, it'll come down to 40,000 and 40, and then you're not gonna miss the entry because you tried to wait till it came down to 40,000 or 44,000 or whatever even. And in reality, it was never going to go touch that quarter point. But supposedly, what I've learned and what I've been taught is that that's what banks use to trade off of. Supposedly, right? That's the quarter point theory. So I run with that. I've seen it do it a lot. If you go and back test it, you'll see it do it a lot. So with that being said, that's the trade. You come down to the 5 minute, you look at your 5 minute for your reversal type things. Your higher time frames are telling you what you want them to. Let's hope this shows all this. Let's see.
I'll be on in a bit.
This is
I'm on a
another trade I
webinar.
called,
I'm
I
on a
think the next
webinar.
day after that.
Live webinar, live and direct.
How long you got?
A little bit, a little bit,
Alright, word.
a little bit, a
Got
little
your
bit.
thoughts, two dub
So you
wins.
come down here, you start to
We're
see,
coming back, baby.
you see this wick.
Alright, bet.
I'll hit you in a
You
bit.
see this wick out right there? That's a good sign. You know that wick out was off your 1 hour MA. You know on the monthly, weekly, and daily time frames that you're on an uptrend. All you got to do is take the damn trade and wait. And then I typically set like a 30-point stop loss because that's what I've found that if with my strategy I get involved when I'm supposed to get involved, that's all I need. So then I can catch very high R to R trades. And I call these in the signals room, etc. when I'm taking them. So that's my whole strategy right there. That's basically it. I might throw a Fibonacci sequence on there. I might use I might that's really it. Maybe a fib. That's really it. I can't even think of anything else. It's like you could say like yeah, literally support, resistance, time frame correlation, the MA, maybe a fib, overall fundamental analysis of where the economy's going, and market structure and candlestick patterns. That's like it's it. It's really simple, really straightforward. It don't bear too much weight on
Simple
any
sauce, bro.
one.
Makes the
It's
best flavor.
simple. It's simple. It's simple. It's simple. It's clean. It works. If you know when to use it, it works. And I mean, if you just take a look at this, look how stupid this is. It's a trending market, right?
It's stupid,
Take a
bro.
take a buy every time it touches the 1 hour. Take a buy every time it touches. Right? You got 1, 2 right here. You probably would have gotten stopped out of this one. This one would have ran. You'd have been in hella fucking profit. This one runs. You'd be in hella profit. This one runs. You'd be in hella profit. Okay, we don't take this. I bet this is a 30-minute MA. You come down here. Boom. Another rejection candle off the 1 hour. Boom. Come up. Okay. Boom. Hella profit. come off this 1 hour touch right here. Boom, hella profit. It gets fucking, it's stupid. It's stupid. And you know you're in an uptrend. You could take all of these, you could lose two and have the
And
other
this
ones
is the
close.
50 MA or EMA or
Yeah, this is low key been my baby for many years, and I
Hey
really
man,
only
that's that
I've,
old 2017 OG. Yeah.
bro, if you know how to use it, if
Yeah.
it ain't
That
broken,
used
don't
to be
fix
one of
it.
my strats.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it, man. And that's
I
one
like
thing I
that.
had to learn too, is there's a lot of strategies out there, guys. But once you find one that works with your kind of your play style, like different
Mhm.
hockey players, baseball players, football players, they have different styles how they play the game. Ronaldo's not going to play soccer the same way Messi is. So the same thing with trading. If you're a little more passive in your trading, whether you're gonna have to find a strategy that's a little more passive, you're a little more risk averse. You have to find you know what I'm saying? Like you have to find your thing, which is why I studied so many different people and I grabbed things from everybody and I put them together in my own thing, which what made sense to me, and then I just went at it. And when I went at it and I just said, I'm going to take this EMA or this MA from over here, I'm going to take this structure from over here, I'm going to take this usage of the fib over here, and I'm going to put all that together. I'm going to take, okay, I see how this support resistance, that's kind of basic, right? Everybody teaches that or it should. But okay, boom, I'm going to use all these things in conjunction and make my own strategy that makes sense to me and see if it works, back test it, and then start forward testing it. And as you can see, like it's just stupid. And then once you see you break this, boom, okay. Well, now we got a different market here. This is a bit of consolidation here, and you can tell that by the daily, right? You can tell that we're hitting this, and where are we hitting? Boom, right here, right here. These all-time highs. I didn't expect to break this. I said we're probably gonna have a pullback. We're probably not gonna break it once we were coming up here. I was like, if we do, lit. If we don't, whatever. We're gonna get in on the next buys. We're gonna see where it pulls down to, and I'll be looking for buys all the way down. Until then, maybe take sells. But I see the overall market as an overall bullish market. So again, that's just another thing in our favor. Right. That's it. That's it. It was a little longer than 2 minutes. That was like
nah,
seven,
it's
but
good. It's good.
that's it. That's it. That's it. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hope that helps somebody.
Fire, fire,
Absolutely.
fire.
Very good. Very dope. I'd say I ain't been messing with EMAs, but the way that was kind of looking kind of crazy. I don't
It's
know.
disgusting. It's disgusting.
Now you
It's
see, now
honest.
you see the method behind the signals.
We
I
got
kind of hope I kind of hope not too many
That's it.
people
You're going out of business, bro. You're done.
stop it.
No,
I
but
only told tell my Telegram students and my mentorship
we got
students
well that's
and
listen, we got the sauce on here,
secret
bro. That's the
sauce.
whole
It's
point.
secret
But we
sauce.
got
Yep.
Eric. Eric is up next. My boy Eiffel Ported. He was just on here a second ago. He's yeah. Bro, you wanna how do you wanna you
Yo,
wanna just talk or what do you wanna do? You wanna share a chart or
I don't know if I can because I'm on my phone.
yeah,
There's a way I could.
do you wanna join from your PC or what do you wanna do?
Uh,
You
I
have
don't know.
Telegram on your computer?
No, I don't have nothing on
Or
there. I
you
just
want me to
have.
email you the link, the Zoom link?
Yeah, you can.
Text me your email and I'll email you the Zoom link right now.
It's my full name, erichowell@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah, let me
Okay.
try to see if I can
Boom.
join it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much of an issue, right? Let me send the email really quick. And then we're gonna have or Anthony is Anthony on here? Yeah, Anthony will go after that. How do you spell your last name, bro? Sorry,
H,
H
yeah, HAUGHWOUT.
WOUT
Yeah,
at gmail.com.
yeah.
Okay, got you right now. Zoom. Okay. Okay, paste. All right, just sent it.
Let me see if I see it.
Okay. Coming soon. I'm coming soon. But my charts are coming soon.
Hell yeah.
Coming soon. Shoosh.
Hide the sauce, okay.
You sent it to me. You said to my
Yes.
email.
Yes.
I must be on the wrong one.
Eric
H A yeah
ERIC.
HAUGHWAT.
HAU.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Oh, you got it.
Let me see if I can see what I could do with this. All right. Oh, I think it's okay.
Should
Do I have to? I
Anthony, are
have to
you here?
download it.
You might have to. Yeah, I think right. Yeah. Anthony, you here, bro? Maybe I just have Anthony go really quick, or you just download it really quick
Go ahead, yeah.
if he's here.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit going on, man. Yo, great call. It was an honor to hear you guys speak. I'm drunk right now, but I'm gonna see if you guys can actually see my screen up right now. Yeah. Yo, Shaw, shout out to you, bro. Hans, Andrew, all y'all boys, bro. Like, it's like we've all been in the industry, bro. We've all been faced with adversity. We all push through ups and downs, and I think this is like we're like the I guess you could call us like the underdogs in the industry in some form of fashion. Like I
Yes.
guess we all came like to this place here and like it's like you know what, bro, like no one else, we didn't fit with anyone within anyone else's program, bro, because we've everyone on this call has seen the shady shit in the business and the industry. We all know what's going on, we all know the truth, and we're all like, yo, bro, we're not gonna pick sides and be a part of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And
Of course.
like for me, I value integrity. And James, like that's one of the number one things that I told you from the get when we first met. And we've been like building a friendship slowly over time, bro. It's not like fast money. Like, you know, like you said earlier, if you can make money fast, you can lose it even faster. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's like even with these relationships, bro, like I don't talk to these guys on a daily, but every time I talk to Andrew, it's always a good fucking conversation, genuine. Eric, YouTuber. Every time I talk to Eric, me and Eric did a podcast together, bro. Hans, YouTube. Josh, me and you barely talk, but it's like I respect you from afar, bro. I see you in the gym. I see you doing your thing. I didn't even know that the situation that you had with 100 and something thousand with the prop. I didn't even know you had that situation, and
Yeah.
it was literally like to hear like you say that. I was like, damn, bro. Like we all kind of have our own similar
We all go
things.
through the same shit, just in different ways. That's the beauty of it. That's why like it's dope as fuck when we're all together, because like we can all relate in some way, shape, or form. And everyone that's out there struggling, I promise you, it's not unique or special to like not in like a bad way, but like we all went through it and we overcame it, so you can too.
Literally. And I'm 26 right now, bro. And like, bro, when I was like 24, I was like, damn, bro, I kind of been through a heartbreak. I've been through this. I've been through that. I think I'm ready for manhood, bro. You're gonna be tested with way more shit, bro.
Yeah.
And one thing that I learned, bro, is most of us men, we all go through similar things. We all go through heartbreak. We all go through betrayal. We all go through a close friend switching up on us. We all go through these things, and we think that yeah, it ain't gonna happen. Like, or my dog's solid, or this, bro. Like, that's just crazy. But we all have damn near similar stories in different situations, and that's a funny thing.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, bro. I can't really show any charts right now, but I'm
Right.
driving. But I could just give some words of encouragement, and tell a little bit about my story here.
Yeah.
I'm 26 now. Like I said, I started day trading when I was 19 years old. Number one question I get is like, yo, like, what did you get into it? And for me, it was just I learned early on. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, one of the first books I ever read, and the things was like, it just shifted my mindset. It was like, yo, like I don't want to work 40 years for someone to just live the rest of my years, you know, off of a pension or off of just a little bit of money. You know what I mean? And I'm a firm believer in that. How you make your money is gonna dictate how you live your life. Meaning, if you make your money from a paycheck at a job your whole life, you're gonna become so comfortable, so complacent. You're gonna not know how to make money any other way, right? And trading was that ultimate challenge for me. Trading was that thing that said, "Yo, if you can fucking make money from your cell phone with a 9 to 5 and get out and make it out and be able to pay your bills, bro, and sustain yourself, bro, that to me is winning. I don't have to fucking have all the flashy things, and I do have those things because God bless me, but bro, like you don't even need those things to
It's
have a
not
good
why we're
life, bro.
doing it. It's not why we're doing it.
Right. Right.
You don't need that shit, bro. Like the time freedom, good quality people around you, like your health, these things. If you can have those things, those priorities checked off, bro, you're a rich man today. I'll tell you that right now. And a lot
You're
of you
still
guys,
eating ice cream. If you got a cherry on top, like I'll take a cherry on top of my ice cream, but it's like I still enjoy the ice cream like my freedom, you know?
Straight
fuck
up.
it, put some sprinkles on
Pause
that
on the
shit, dog.
cherry though. Like pause on the cherry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, bro. James, I appreciate you, bro.
Of course, I
I
appreciate you
appreciate
as
you.
well. I know this call has been long and kind of like the webinars they usually get a little drawn out because we always we all want to pontificate and kind of like we all want to chime in. So like, no, I appreciate your time. I appreciate everyone's time. I appreciate everyone that's viewing. I know it's a lot to like stay attentive and alert. Like when there's a lot of information, there's a lot of but like this is what it is. Like this is I just want to give back. Like at the end of the day, we are as public figures, we are nothing without our communities, right? Like in that sense. So we've been through a lot. Like we put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, and we have value to provide. So like that's ultimately why we're here because that's why God put us here, bro. Like we're all some type of preacher, pastor, type figure, bro, and that's like the ultimate that's the ultimate gift that we have. Like, let me see a little something, bro. What's going on, bro? You got Tokyo Drift
Uh,
on there or what?
I'm literally driving, bro. Watching well, I'm not watching it
Uh,
at the moment, but Wolf of Wall Street is playing, bro. Wolf of Wall Street in the fucking Beamer, bro. Like,
Hell
Yo,
yeah.
I just want to say I got introduced to this actually by Anthony and by
Wow.
extension James as well. So like when it comes down to it, like I'm on the same type of timing as Anthony, right? You could make money with anything, right? You could do whatever business, job, trade, currency to make money. But the reason why we're here is because we're not looking just to make money, right? We're looking on the back end as to how is this going to really take care of our families and the reason why we're really doing this. So,
Right.
I just want to say appreciate you, Anthony, for even just introducing me to this circle as well, and James for
Yeah.
putting it together. He's been, grinding really hard. You see the
Yeah,
sweat on his face.
it's a lot. You see me? I'm shining, bro. Shining. But
hey, I have one more. I have something I want to touch on. It just I don't know if God has brought it to my brain right now randomly, but I want to touch on this and I want to say it on the call with all you guys here. I told someone what I do, right? Like, cause we're all young, we're all trying to find that particular person in our life, right? And I said, hey, I day trade, right? And she said to me, oh, like, she was like, that's unstable. Like, you need a 401k, you need a pension. And I was like, you know what? And for a second, I believed it for like an hour, and I was like, no, fuck that, shake back, bro. You didn't get this far to just fucking give in, bro. I was like, nah, bro, stay in your shit, get some investments, because trading can be risky. Everyone on this call knows that, right? And it's about who you surround yourself with. The reason why I'm saying this is because I want us to all stay accountable to each other and say, yo, bro, like if one of us are down, we're gonna hold each other accountable and uplift the other one, bro. Because each hand washes the other, bro. At the end of the day, bro, listen, bro, like we're on a unique journey. And you have to have community. You gotta be around people that understand the journey that you're on because 90% of the world don't know or can't comprehend what the fuck we're doing. They're trying to get in and understand what we're doing. And we're literally within that 10%. We're like the 5% within the 10% that are all actually living off of this shit, bro. So
Right.
I'd say it's
Yeah,
even less than 5%, to be quite honest with you. But
yeah.
what do I know?
On a
yeah,
serious note, I agree with Anthony because we're all fighting something, right? Whether you think it or not. A lot of people end up going to war to fight for something, right? A lot of people are fighting the matrix right now, fighting that job that they go to every day, fighting that college professor.
I mean, listen, the job's always gonna be there, bro. Right?
Exactly,
Everything
100%.
is a risk. Talked about risk, bro. Like everything is a risk. Like I'd rather risk my money to free my time than risk my time to secure my money. Like fuck that,
Yeah,
bro. Like the job's always gonna be there. So like that's the way I look at it. Is like you're either you're either gonna just get by or you're gonna fucking. It's like there's two ends of the spectrum, but like anywhere in the middle to the bottom like is in the same place to me. Like until you own your time, like I don't care how much I get from my job or whatever it is. But yeah, let's I know I'm sorry to cut you off, Kyle. I'm gonna give you a section like at the end, cause like I didn't know if you were gonna be on or not, but let me I know Eric got his stream set up, so let's have him share really quick. And I know I cut you off a little bit, Anthony, but finish on Finish. You said you were talking to somebody and then you had to like reel yourself back. So, what ended up like? What insight did you get from like that reflection?
It was more so perspective of like, yo, like on this journey, you're gonna feel lonely at times, right? Because a lot of people
Right.
aren't gonna understand your vision, and it's very important that you surround yourself with people that understand you and that can encourage you and understand where you're coming from.
Right.
Also, bro, like trading is one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. I always say this: trading is the hardest way to make easy money. Literally, it's like
Yeah.
it's so difficult because it's a journey. It's like a spiritual thing. Like you have to literally mentally be sane. Like you have to literally mentally control yourself, understand yourself spiritually and emotionally. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's it's not easy, but it's worth it. It's so worth it because
Yeah, and one
you
thing
live a
is like
full
it's
life.
hard to have conversations with people like with non-traders because like they're all gonna be skeptical. They're all going to steer you away from it, especially like friends and family and parents and stuff. Like because at the end of the day, your parents most generally they love you and they're trying to steer you in a direction that they think is best with the information they have at their disposal. But at the end of the day, like I don't want to live like my parents. Like I don't want what they have. So like I gotta do something that they're not doing at the end of the or anybody that's working a job. Like if you're telling me, oh, like you should do this or you should have a 401k. It's like okay, well you should wake up on Tuesday at 11:37 a.m. because like why the fuck? Oh, your boss won't allow that. Oh, then I don't want to live like you. You know, at the end of the day, like I don't want that. Like so. I don't listen. I appreciate you know. I appreciate it's coming from a good place, but I just don't resonate with it. You know.
Don't take advice from somebody you wouldn't trade places with.
Exactly.
That's how I
Yeah.
see it. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So, Eric, you're up, bro. Anthony, I appreciate you. We'll definitely chop it up like either later tonight or tomorrow or something. But I appreciate just the time and tuning in and or just showing up, bro.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely. Have a
Yep.
great night, guys.
Yeah. You as well, my brother. Thank you.
All right, I don't know how to share this stuff.
There should be a green button, like the whole like where it says participants chat, like your video
Share.
and audio. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's request. Yeah, there you go. You just requested.
What
Should
do
be
I
good
do
now.
now?
Can you select the window or no?
I'm gonna try. Can you see? It's really laggy. Oh,
I don't see anything yet. No. Did you click share and then you selected your window?
yeah.
Mm, hold on. I don't. No, I don't see anything. You selected your internet browser, like where you have the chart open?
No, I'm using Trading View, like actual Trading View, the app.
Oh,
But let me see, maybe
okay, so can you select that as the window that you're sharing?
share. Uh,
Yeah, click share and then it should come up with a bunch of different windows that you
entire
can see.
screen. It says entire
Yeah,
screen.
do it entire screen is fine as long as
Open
you don't got
system.
anything crazy on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why I say that though? Oh, it say I gotta quit and reopen. All right,
Oh,
I'm gonna try
quit
to.
and reopen, quit and
Yeah,
reopen. Let's Kyle, let's are you gonna share charts or
yeah.
you
One
wanna talk
second.
your
One
shit?
second.
All right,
I'm just.
I guess I'll go really quick. I'm not gonna take too long. I'm just gonna um
Go ahead. Go ahead.
actually let me talk really quickly about the challenges because a few people were asking. Okay, so we're gonna have we're going to have we're going to have forex and cfd and then we're going to have futures. Okay, right? So the models are going to be very comparative to what you would find in the competitive marketplace right now. So on forex and cfd we're going to have four types of challenges. Okay, we're going to have what's called the renaissance challenge. We're going to have the apollo challenge. Oh, there you go. I see your screen now. Yeah, let me hold the phone.
That's just so bright.
How do I? Okay.
Am I good now? Or?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I'm
Okay.
just gonna you just set up. Yeah, you just put on Trading View or yeah, there you go. All right, yeah.
Slow down.
Let me just finish this thought really quick, and then I'll jump right into you. So
Alright.
we're gonna have four. We're gonna have the Renaissance Challenge. We're going to have the Spartan Challenge. We're going to have the uh, Apollo One Phase and Apollo Instant. Okay, so the Renaissance Challenge, in the what the name suggests, is the Renaissance, the paying homage to the previous um, golden era that came before us. So basically, what it is it's basically the same offering that FTMO has, but just FTMO doesn't take U.S. clients. So we're going to be offering to U.S. clients basically an unrestricted type challenge that has a not a static drawdown, or not a an equity based drawdown, like a static daily based drawdown. That's basically exactly what FTMO offers, but for the U.S. markets. It's going to be more expensive, but you're going to be unrestricted. You're not going to have any payout caps. You're not going to have any like lot size limits, or but you're just going to be limited by the leverage essentially. So then we're gonna have the Spartan Challenge, which is going to be basically what most firms are running today, like the newer firms. With the consistency rules, it's gonna be cheaper. It's gonna be like probably about 30% cheaper than the other challenge, the like FTMO style challenge. And it's going to have, like I said, a consistency rule. It's going to have lot size limits and things like that. Like it's a more risk. It's a less risky challenge for us, but it's cheaper for you, right? Everything has a push and pull. If I give you more, I have to charge more. If I give you less, it's cheaper for you, basically. Then we're gonna have the Apollo Challenge, which is basically a one phase challenge, which is similar to the Spartan Challenge, but just one phase instead. And then we're going to have instant funding, which is basically exactly how it sounds. Is just you purchase a challenge that is instant funded, and you get to risk basically essentially what you put into the challenge. Okay, and then that's on the forex and CFD side, and then on the future side, we're going to have two challenge models, which are going to be similar to like what Top Step and Apex offer as well. So it's going to be like subscription based. There is going to be some type of trailing drawdown, but we are going to look into. Andrew and I are going to sit down at some point this next week, and we're going to have a call, and we're going to sit down and put something together that's doesn't involve a trailing drawdown. But we're going to have to sit down with our CRM team as well and kind of hash that out as far as like what's that going to look like, and how can we like confidently offer it where it's fair for both parties, basically. So that's what we're offering. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much it. So I'll have more details as far as like I'll post it in the chat and in the Discord chat sometime this week. Like more of the actual rules. The actual what the consistency rule is, the payout caps, and all that stuff, the leverages you'll get, like all that, the pricing, everything like that. So that'll be this week upcoming.
All right. So you want me to?
You're ready, brother. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna basically break down my strategy, and then I'll tell you guys like a little bit of my story, to coming up like when I first started trading and stuff like that. But the gist of my strategy, I do use support and resistance, and I do swing trade. I'm not like a day trader. I mostly swing trade. And I'm gonna give you guys like one example on how I use mine. Is I think I use it a little bit different than everybody else, because I don't just use support and resistance, but I also started to pair it with fair value gaps in EMAs, and it started to work better for me. So I'm just gonna show you guys a little example of one right here so you guys can see. So I basically what I do is I start off on like the daily time frames, and that's like kind of where I would draw my zones at. So like for example, you see right here the top and the bottom. That's where I'll usually draw them at to see it. And then I'll go down to the 4 hours, and then that's where I'll actually like take my trades at. So for example, like here, what I like to do is one good trade that I would say right here is like I'll wait for like a breakout or something like this. So not just trading within it. Most of the times I do trade within it, but I like to trade outside of them more, because I win more trades like that. So like for example, a trade like this, what I'll do is I'll wait for a fair value gap to form, like something like this. Let me draw them both. So I'll wait for like a fair value gap or something like this to form on the outside of it, because I don't like it to form under it. so it has to be over it while I'm in the trade. So what I'll do is I'll do something like this, and if it decides to break, let's say I took a trade like this and I was to like lose a trade, my trading win percentage is around 40 to 50%. So let's say if I took a trade like this and I was to lose a trade like this, as you guys can see, right next to it would be the same thing that'll happen. So there's a fair value gap that forms right here. It retests into it, and then probably it pushes up. So in a trade like this, I probably would have broke even if I did lost. But at the same time, I would have been looking to re-enter here because it pushed back over again over my resistance right here. So once it pushed back over and I got that other retest, my stop loss would be right behind here on this one. So let's say that I got into another trade right here, then that's most likely what I'll do. I'll put my stops behind here, something like that. And then I'll trade it to these highs up here, something like that. So that's usually what I do, like for like breakouts. And then like obviously if I'm trading within the range of
Now,
it,
when you're looking for a target, like what criteria
so
are
it's the same
you
thing, buy side, sell side.
okay?
That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. So that's what I'm trading to. And then like for example, ways like this, if you're just trading normal support and resistance, you'll lose trades like this. You know what I mean? Because of the sweeps. So usually how I avoid those sweeps is by using fair value gaps. Those fair value gaps, I wait for this to push up. And if it pushes up and creates that fair value gap, then what usually happens is, I mean, can I draw? Yeah, so usually what happens if it was to create like a fair value gap right here, what it would do is it'll bounce into that fair value gap and push up. But if it doesn't create that fair value gap, I know that it's just liquidity stream to push back down. So when it pushes back down, it might create a fair value gap on the way down. That's how I know that it'll keep pushing down. So then I'll wait for the retest into that one and catch it on the way down. So I just react to whatever I'm seeing. So that's a
Wow.
way
What's
that I
your
use it to
average
help
hold
me.
time?
What's my average hold time? So sometimes I might hold for like a week or 3 days, 4 days. Really, it depends on how fast it moves. Sometimes, you have trades where that shit moves so fast, you could win a trade in like 2, 3 days. But
Yeah.
then sometimes you have one that takes long, it might take a week or two, you know what I mean? But I'll hold it. So, but that's usually what I do. And, the good thing about how trades is because like, even though I might take little losses right here, my losses are so small, it usually doesn't matter. So I think the best part about my strategy or the way to win at my strategy is to get better at your psychology because you might lose a lot and you just got to get good at realizing that you're going to take those small losses
Get
to
good at
be able
losing.
to win. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So
Being a good loser. Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I had to say. But me, I think I probably resonate with a lot of the people coming out, starting out. I started trading when I was 18. Now I'm 22. Last year was my first year being profitable. I started out trading crypto. A lot of people don't know that. I still trade crypto to this day. I make a lot of money trading crypto. Still not trading, but I invest in the crypto now. I don't trade it anymore because the moves are damn near impossible to time. But yeah, so that's where I pretty much started out. I dropped out of high school. I was working 2 to 3 jobs. I was sleeping in my car at the time. When I first started, my cousins felt bad for me to help me move in with them. At times the water wasn't on. I was doing plasma to eat. I was doing EBT. I was a felon, so it was hard for me to find a job at the time. I had probably like the hardest come up, and I was making like 20K a year. I went from making 20K to 140K in my first year being profitable as a trader. So, that's just like the gist of my story. And I started with damn near like $100 and I changed it. And it changed my life, thanks to prop firms and shit like that. I used the money, leveraged it, put it into a live account, and then went on from there. So
I
yeah,
respect that, bro. I respect that.
Bro, big props, bro.
Crazy
Big
story,
appreciate
props.
it.
bro. I didn't even know half of that.
Islanders always got a crazy story,
Dope
Yeah,
bro.
as
bro.
fuck. That's dope as fuck. Hell yeah, no. I mean, strategy is pretty straightforward and simple, like easy to follow, bro. Like I fuck with that. Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
Eric, I got a question.
Any questions? Yeah,
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, I got a question. So when it comes to swing trading, uh, is there a specific pair that you tend to gravitate towards, or what is it that look
So really, I like Euro USD, and that's because that's where I first started trading when I traded Forex. But then I went from trading that usually to GJ. GJ moves so fucking clean, like so clean. So that's like one of my favorites right now, GJ. Really.
you're using personal funds?
Yeah. I don't use prop firms.
Okay, so like if you were to take a loss, do you size down on your next trade, or do you keep the risk the same?
So I mean, it depends. Sometimes I'll size down if I'm starting to lose a lot more, but if I'm, on a good winning streak, I keep it the same. But I don't really like to size down too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Cool. Dope. Kyle, you want to go next? Kyle.
Yep. Let's get it.
You're up, brother.
Let me just get my camera situation. All right. We good. If everybody could hear me and see me, drop a 7 in the chat. Um, Let me know if you guys can hear me and see me too.
No, we can. Yeah, we know. We definitely. Well, it's streaming off me, so if I see you and hear you, then you're good to go, bro.
All right, bet. Let's get it. I see you guys in the chat box here. Just want to introduce myself before I bring on the charts. First things first, my name is Kyle. Kyle Prasad, aka Kyle Hustles on everywhere. How I got started in trading is a little bit different than a lot of people, maybe similar to some people, but I got started when I was 15. Actually, saw a lot of different signal services and courses online on social media. Then I actually ended up getting involved into an MLM, IML. So I was in IML. I actually started when I was 16 and I was working a job at Publix
How old do you know?
where I was, huh?
How old do you know?
I'm 22.
22.
Yeah, so like I was working at Publix and I was in high school and I was a straight A student as well, but I always knew that there has to be some way where if you're gonna be the most smartest student in the world, get the most smartest grades, there's people like in my school that did not have any sort of knowledge or intellect whatsoever, spreading cash on their arms. I was like, what are they doing that
You
I'm not
from
doing?
Florida, ain't it?
Obviously, some people aren't doing the most legitimate thing. Some people aren't doing trading, but there's some sort of way to make money that has nothing to do with your grades, that has nothing to do with where you work, that has nothing to do with what you look like, but has everything to do with how you perform and how hard and how bad you want it.
Kyle, you
So,
from Florida, right?
yeah, so
Right.
I live in Orlando, Florida, and I'm not too far from a lot of the guys on this call. What about you, Hans?
I'm in Tampa right now. I'm from Palm Beach County though.
Okay, okay,
So
okay,
when you
okay,
said
okay.
spreading the money, I'm like, yeah, that brother,
I
he
mean,
up.
Exactly. There's a
listen,
lot of people.
that's people do that everywhere, bro.
Nah,
That ain't
bro.
universal to
Florida
Florida,
started
bro.
that, bro.
All right. Anyway, put the charts up. Put the chart.
All right, all right, let's
Let
put
the
the charts
charts
up.
talk, bro. Let the charts
Let's put the
talk.
chart. But yeah, I seen all these type of things growing up in school, and I'm like, hey, if this person could do it, I can do it too. And even in a MLM opportunity where not everybody was focused on 100% about trading, 99% of people 95% of people were focused on just selling the idea of trading and selling courses and whatnot. So
Right. Right.
when it comes down to it, there's a market for that too. There's a business in that space too. So, you have to
Unfortunately.
stay focused. Huh?
Unfortunately.
No, for sure. For sure, unfortunately. But when it comes down to it, that's how I got introduced, right?
Right.
Maybe some of you guys got introduced on a first time with the right mentor, the right place at the right time with the
I
right
agree. I
people.
mean, a lot of
But
the
for me,
MLMs got people in the door. They might have like smashed their face through the fucking
exactly.
glass,
So
like, but they got them through the door. To be honest with you.
That's how I started. Was
Yeah.
the
exactly. So that's what it
yeah,
is.
for
It
like
gets
2 months,
people
and
to
I was
the
like,
door.
"Fuck this."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep, exactly a month and a
It
half.
gets it literally just gets people to the door. And for me, it got me through the door at a young age, at 15, where it's like not a lot of
Wow.
people don't really even
At
find out
15 is
about these
crazy.
things. Exactly. So I'm grateful and I understand selective hearing. So if you're on this call, maybe you've been on this call for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, right? Take as much as you can in as much time as possible because those are the type of thing that I was doing, growing up. So
Right.
I appreciate all you guys for being on. I'm looking at USD CAD right now.
I
Uh,
don't see your screen. All right, no, there we go. Hold on, sorry.
oh,
No,
okay.
because that's my fault. I have you pinned. I gotta remove your pin, and then there we go. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking at USD CAD right now. To be honest, the dollar, if you look at the dollar overall, from a long-term standpoint, we are bearish. I'm not
Absolutely.
sure if anybody on here went over the actual fundamentals itself, but from the week standpoint, from here until the 18th, we have core retail sales on Thursday, PPI and core PPI on Wednesday, and core CPI on Tuesday. So we have three major events this week to keep an eye out on, that are actually forecasted to come out slightly higher, which can mean a little bit of a bullish dollar leading up until Thursday. So kind of like a little bit of a retracement going on here.
And
We did close.
why would that for people that might not understand, like why would that foreshadow a strong dollar if we're seeing a rise in inflation, like above expectations or just in general?
Okay. So basically, great question. Great question. So when you're looking at the Forex factor and you're looking at these numbers, basically what core CPI means is the change in price of goods and services purchased by consumers, right? So that's the everyday goods and services that we buy at the store. And these prices, right, they're accounting for a majority of the overall inflation. So think about it. Um, you know, you go to the grocery store, it's like $5 for a price of milk. Let's say in the past it was $3. That right there is inflation. And CPI is measuring the number of the price of goods and services. Now, previously, it was at 0.1%, right? 0.1% change, 0.1%. And it's forecasted to come out slightly higher. So, I mean, think about that. If the
Well,
prices of
what is
goods
it?
and
I
services,
want you to get to just like the meat and potatoes of it. Like
okay. If
what
the prices go
policy?
up,
Yeah, right. Go ahead.
okay, there you go. If the prices go up, obviously the dollar is going to be more valuable, right? There's going to be more people looking to hold on to their dollars because prices are going up. Why would you want to spend more of that money knowing that everything is more expensive?
You're missing the point. You're missing the point. But it's okay because
What
I'm
would be
here.
your explanation
The
as to
fundamental daddy is here. So I
it?
and not to like I mean you're not necessarily wrong, but you were right about the correlation,
Everybody has a different
but you
explanation. I'm
want
giving like the
to
retail explanation. I want
why
to hear your
yeah. I'm
explanation.
saying from a policy standpoint when inflate especially right now because inflation there's so much scrutiny around it, right? The Federal Reserve has to respond, right? In a normal environment when inflation isn't an issue, it's not an issue, right? So there's not much scrutiny around it. But right now, inflation is very elevated and people are struggling because people live paycheck to paycheck, right? So when inflation is extra hot, the money that you might have had a small margin to survive on is now eroding to inflation. So because of that, the Fed has to respond. And the reason the foreshadowing is because if CPI, PPI, all these inflation metrics are elevated, it means that the Fed is going to stay on a hawkish path, right? Which means hawkish means in favor of higher rates. So either I don't think the Fed is going to hike again at this point, but it's a matter of the question now is the Fed going to remain steadfast and keep rates steady, or are they going to start cutting interest rates that to start that downward tapering path of cutting interest rates. So if inflation comes out really hot and it stays hot and it's not the Fed's target is 2%. So this is CPI month over month, but if you go to year over year, we're at 2.6 or the forecast is 2.6. So even
Correct.
2.4 is still elevated, right? So the Fed wants to be at 2%. Like that's their ideal scenario goal. So anything above that is not their ideal scenario goal. So they're doing everything in their power to bring inflation down to that level without catastrophically crippling the economy, which they've done a pretty decent job so far. But yeah, that's really what it means. It is if inflation is elevated. The thing with fundamentals is you have to first identify what are the underlying problems in the economy. Like as a baseline, like I'm just starting my analysis. What are the problems in the economy? Inflation is the main problem, right? Like that we're experiencing globally. So what is the solution? What is the response? The response is raising interest rates, combating that, bringing that down. Slow. We had too much demand, right? We had too much excess money and liquidity in the system, too much demand, and now we need to slow down. We need to stifle the demand. So that's really what the response is going to be here. Is like the Fed is looking at these metrics and they are responding accordingly. Like if inflation is coming down, then the rates that we have are sufficient to slow down the economy. But at a certain point, if inflation doesn't go any lower and it starts to creep back up, that means that the rates we have right now are just insufficient to keep inflation at the level that we want it to be at, basically.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that was really in depth. I don't think I could have articulated myself in that way,
It's
but
fine. No, listen. You were in the right direction, but yeah, like I just you just want to go like right to the what is the actual response? Okay, we have a data,
Mhm.
right, a metric, and then a response. Like it's either okay, inflation is good, the response is cut rates. Inflation is bad, response is hold rates steady or possibly raise rates if it got really bad. But we're not at that point yet. So that's really like, and the response will dictate what the chart is going to do, right? If we cut rates, that's going to be seen as a risk on, a euphoria, like, yes, we beat inflation, like, let's get back to low interest rates, let's let the economy boom again. Or inflation is bad, now the response is hold rates firm. Like, basically, interest rates is like putting a chokehold on the economy. It's like suffocating the economy. So if we hold rates, we're holding the chokehold where it is currently. Every time we cut rates, we release the chokehold a little bit, essentially.
literally 100%. That is, I think that's the best way to explain it.
That's why I said it. But yeah, no, but yeah, that's
And
there
and
is a
and
lot of news this
fundamental
week.
knowledge is gonna take you guys to the next level, right? It's gonna give you guys
Absolutely.
that edge, just that slight edge, right? I think that's what gives James his little like sauce that he can't really, exactly like. And the thing about fundamentals is that it's ever so changing as well,
Right,
right? It's
right,
it's
right.
ever so changing as well. So it's not something where
It's
it's
not a
also
repeatable
even
technical strategy, bro. It's something that you
Right.
constantly have to keep up with.
Right. I think that's
and it's
important.
not ever something that's 100% set in stone too as well,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
What me and James are talking about on this call can be 100% incorrect like this entire week. So
Yeah.
like that's the amazing thing about it. Like,
Like
it's
core
all
CPI is not
probabilities
a
too.
strategy. It's a way to gauge things. There was a point in time in 2023, every core CPI Tuesday at 8:30 sharp, the market would go one direction. And people were passing challenges, flipping the mess out their accounts
Yeah.
until core CPI started sweeping first and then reversing at 9:30 after an hour.
All
Like
right.
it's these type of nuances that we have to learn to adjust to, and it's not an end all be all. Like I see on Instagram for clickbait, people like really beat their chest at being like the fundamentals giant, and then when the actual bias does not work well with the conditions and um the complicatedness of the market and the current conditions in real time, and then you don't hear from them. It's like, oh, bro, I thought you were like the fundamental go-to guys. Like, yeah, but that doesn't mean we got the market fully figured out. Everybody has to use discretion,
Right.
and that's why like you see people making master classes and doing PDFs as if like these data sets are written in stone. No, sometimes you have to take a L for fuck around and find out, or
Right.
wait an hour just to see clarity, and then you move accordingly. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that, bro.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Great words. Great words. But yeah, honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, guys, like again, on a long-term standpoint, the DXY is still very, very bearish. So like trying to guess a bottom here is like trying to get
I personally
catch
think the dollar it is like mainly driven by tariffs and just the uncertainty. Like I would say a big thing is between like a battle between Powell and Trump, right? Trump is like on one end of the spectrum and Powell is on the other. So like that disparity and that uncertainty of like who's gonna edge out over in the end is causing just a lot of dollar flight right now. Like, and a lot of institutions are pulling money out of the dollar and investing in other more stable economies and currencies and asset classes and things like that. So, not to hijack your analysis,
No, no,
but
no.
but I do think there in the end, I do think the dollar will have a nice upswing, similar to like the one that we see. Where is the annotate button? Like something similar to like is that your annotate? Oh, that's yours. Anyway, just the one like from 2022, like when we first started raising interest rates.
2022. Yep.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
we're gonna have a similar upswing like that. Like once all this uncertainty eases, at the end of the day, like most currencies are driven by interest rate differentials. You know, at the end of the day, so like whatever, if you're a central bank and you have billions and billions and billions and trillions of dollars, you don't really care to make 30% on Bitcoin or some crazy investment. You just want like you just want to keep what you got and maybe make a little something on top. You know, so if you can put your money into a currency that's yielding 3, 4, 5%, you're golden. You know, like you're happy with that. So versus a currency like the yen that's very inflationary, that's like a negative interest rate or like very slightly positive. There's a reason why USD JPY, like from 2022 onwards, went on this crazy 40% upswing, is because you're looking at an interest rate differential between the dollar and the yen, right? The dollar was very predominantly rate positive and the yen was rate negative. So you're seeing money flowing, you're getting cheap, you're borrowing cheap money from Japan and you're injecting it into a strong dollar that's yielding you a strong amount of money. That is why the disparity was so strong. So but yeah, I think in the end, like right now, this uncertainty will settle itself out, and the dollar will have its rise at some point or another once these things kind of settle themselves out, whenever that does happen. But
So you're on the daddy dollar side. You're
I
you're
mean,
you're
I'm on the
both.
side that like the dollar just dropped like the most it's ever dropped like in history in a short period of time, and like it's the fucking dollar at the end of the day. Like it is, if the dollar fails, like everything fails. So the whole world at that point, like the whole world is gonna fail anyway. So
You
Yeah.
know that right there is 100% true.
Yeah.
I'll tell
People
you
need
I'll
to
tell you this right
realize
now.
that.
Um, you know, with all this like bare dollar stuff, everybody's making money. Everybody's making money off of gold, Nasdaq, Bitcoin. Like
right.
it's all gonna end. Like that's all gonna like
I mean,
that's
listen.
not.
The recession, in my opinion, is gonna materialize. We're just in like euphoria, rah rah land right now. But like when the recession does materialize, like cash is king, and there will be a fantastic buying opportunity for a lot of these digital assets, like or even hard assets and stuff like that. But like I still think we're gonna see a big correction.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I'm in agreement with that. I'm in agreement with that for sure. I want to see something like this where we have the dollar maybe return to these levels.
But yeah, as
Yeah.
far as your strategy, like how would you break, like for people watching, like how would you break it down, like as simply and quickly as you could, like your entry model or something like that.
Wyckoff,
Okay.
a supply and demand, time and price, and a little bit of London and New York open. So
Okay.
like a lot of the ICT stuff is very similar to what I do, but I never actually learned from ICT, right? I learned a lot of smart money concepts as the years went on, and just recently, like about 2 years ago, I got put on game with Wyckoff, and I started learning about accumulation, distribution. I'm always in a constant learning phase, so I never like to box myself to a specific strategy or a specific methodology of the market. Because one way that you're looking at the market could also be like a totally different way that you look at it next month. So Wyckoff is like the number one thing that I stand by. It's the oldest trading strategy known to man. So I never like to even say that one strategy is better than another. I just go by one of the oldest strategies in the books. So for the most part, I would say that the dollar right now, if you look at it from a month to month standpoint, it is downtrending. But if you look at it on a smaller standpoint, we are kind of uptrending. So like what do? We
Right.
we make lower lows, lower highs, lower lows,
Right.
lower
It's
high.
waiting to make a higher low at this point.
Exactly. So at this point, you know, we don't have solid confirmation that this right here is a high until we can solidify and break this low, or at least break this low over here. So technically, this is uptrend structure, but I wouldn't be comfortable buying anywhere here. I mean, there's a possibility that we buy this week. I'll be paying attention this week. If you look at the monthly candle, it is starting to trade up 17 days in. We have a weekly bullish engulfing candle. One thing that I like to look at, if you don't have volume, you don't have Wyckoff. So I look at volume as well. The volume looks solid on the Dow Jones. Here's the thing. I also look at there's two different dollar feeds. I look at the DXY on the TVC feed, but I also look at the Dow Jones dollar feed. If you search up US dollar, I look at that feed as well. And on this feed, we actually swept lows and then closed back up as an engulfing
That's on FXCM. That's
on FXCM,
yeah.
on FXCM. But the Dow Jones one, actually, yeah, I don't like that one. Yeah,
I
never
don't have
mind.
the
The
flu, bro. I
FXC.
don't know why I'm sneezing so much, but means I'm about to come into a lot of money. That's what that means.
No, 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 facts. I actually used to use the Dow Jones dollar feed, but I like to keep it on two. And the FXCM and the TVC feed has been doing me pretty well. And I see that we did just sweep the lows on the FXCM feed. So it's a possibility that this week might be the week that we get a rebound, especially with all the fundamentals pointing towards that
I think
direction.
this week we'll have a good amount of insight in terms of like yeah data like that the Fed will use to make their next few decisions because yeah they're definitely they're at a pivotal point where it's like how much longer are they going to hold rates at this level before they really start the path of cutting, and the data is very data driven, and honestly what a lot of people I think are missing is what came out on Friday, which is Powell resigning. I really think that's huge fucking news, to be honest with you. If that's genuinely true, I don't know. Like,
That's not genuinely true at all because from the briefing, he is not looking to resign.
well,
They're forcing his
I don't think
hand
he is.
to create a
He
narrative.
seems like a very like rigid guy. Like, and I don't think he's gonna let Trump push him around or the administration or like
Yeah,
I
it's the administration. Literally, they're like, "Hey, we think that Jerome is considering resigning,"
right,
and so every time they've asked him publicly, for example, I believe on Thursday, if not Wednesday, he says, "No, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about finding our way into
right,
being, whatever soft landing idea he has, but really it's just looking to really pace the structures of the fundamentals in the economy. One being the tariffs, two being able to make a judgment call on interest rates and not just doing it emotionally.
right,
Because the truth of the matter is, we did have plans to actually decrease interest rates.
right.
However, the whole tariffs
The
idea that was
tariffs is
introduced
reigniting it. Yeah,
really fucked things up.
right,
And so now it's like it's not his decision to actually decrease interest rates in the midst of uncertainty of the tariffs, because if he does it right away, what are we really looking for to do here? It's like Trump is a signal caller that wants to see like the full bullishness and the volatility
right,
just so all his boys could win, but
right.
at what cost?
Right.
And Jerome Powell knows this very, very well,
Right.
which is why he would rather stay on the safe side of keeping interest rates the same as different
He's on his
federal
Volcker.
chairs had done, because it's safer to keep it at pace and let things marinate and adjust instead of just once
Yeah.
again just drastically change things from 5 to 2 or even 1, just so the good the boys could really
Yeah,
live
I
their
mean the
good
thing
old
is
days.
the
And
thing is
like that's not how it
the
works.
wealthy people don't really like everyone gets affected by inflation, but like wealthy people have investments and you know
Yeah.
lower class people have
And
wages and the
let me
problem.
say this, bro. Let me say this for the record. When you hear a statement like "Make America Great Again," that's an old man thinking about an old time in a time capsule where it's not really
Right.
aligned with the current present day.
Right.
And so, oh, the good. Remember the good old days where interest rate was at 1%. Well, that was a different time.
Right.
Realistically, we would have to bring interest rates down to like 4 just to see how we adjust.
Right.
We can't just drastically bring interest rates down just to make everybody happy and just release the tension, because there's actual responsibilities and
There's
every
ramifications
decision.
of that.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Ramifications of every decision that gets made. So rather to bring a soft landing really means we should ease down gradually and not drastically, because the only times we actually do drastic measures out of these decisions is when we had
A
something
privacy.
cataclysmic like
Right.
2020.
Right. Right.
And look, every time there's a drastic measure that gets taken by the interest rates of the federal chair, every central bank have to follow suit, and that usually lasts 10 years for the adjustment to actually be felt and for it to be done right. Which is why every 10 years is the usual correction, and depending on who's in charge and the thinking headspace of just bringing a coalition to really ask themselves what can we do next from here. The federal chair and the president, even though they're two different entities, have to come together to at a point where it makes sense for the economy, not just to make your presidential points look good, for your own personal legacy to look good and for your boys to really be proud of you. That's not how it works. And so right now we're really stuck in a kerfuffle of circumstances where like it's not dictated by us, and it's not supposed to be throwing jabs and really forcing a good guy who's really got his head on his shoulders, trying to put words in his mouth saying, "Oh yeah, he's thinking about resigning." Did Jerome Powell say that? No. And the federal chair is a different entity than the actual government. So I find it very unprofessional what's really going on in real time. Like we're literally a reality TV show where someone is really trying to bully you into resigning by saying that you're considering to resign when he never said that. And now everybody's just really feeling the
Right.
irony of someone
They're
calling out
creating
fake
they're
news when his
creating a
own
narrative.
cabinet is really calling out fake news.
Right.
It's wild.
Right.
I really had to let that out because, like, yo, when we really talking real shit about this market, not for clickbait, this is the real conversation that's supposed to be had. And I know a lot of you guys feel me on this one for real, because imagine students asking you questions about the briefing, about like how do you feel about the economy, as if you're the person who's been 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years in the game. They expect you to know, when really we're living times that we've never seen before, in levels of unprofessionalism that has never at a scale that we've never seen before. And we have to literally adjust our strategies accordingly and play things carefully as well. And it's wild times.
Right.
I think student or not, like all of us should remain a student, right?
Of
Whether
course.
whether
But the
you're
point though is
in the
that
phase right now
one of
where
the
you're a
things that we've
student
learned
or a
is to
mentor, you should
actually like
always be
play it
learning.
by ear and know how to adjust under conditions, because that's why, like, miss me with the whole, like, I loved what you said, Kyle. Like, I'm not a ICT purist, bro, because what happens when the strategy's not working? Everybody's in the shadows. They can't even sell their shit, right? Because it's not working right now. But a mentor and a leader environment where like most of us play that role, we got to let our people know, yo, listen, this is not about passing your challenge right now. This is bigger than you. This is not about your swing strategy right now. You're gonna have to move your strategy outside of your personality. You're gonna have to be an intraday trader right now. You're gonna have to be a scalper right now because market conditions are good, or you're gonna have to wait for the 4 hour daily structure to retest again. You're gonna have to give the market like a few weeks to adjust. These are some of the things that we have to tell them because a lot of times they're like, "Yo, what happened, bro? Like you're not calling this signal. Hey, what happened, man? We're losing this week, bro. It's not about us. It's about the conditions that we have to adjust to. And that's the real spill in surviving 10 years or plus in this market.
Right. 100%.
Yeah,
100%, my
no,
brother.
100%.
We're closing in on 4 hours on this webinar, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, I'm gonna
Trade-a-thon.
yeah, I mean, I'm getting tired. I skipped my run early. I gotta go run 10 miles after this. So
Yeah.
I got some shit cut out for me. So I mean, listen, I'm gonna, not to cut you off, Kyle, but I'm just gonna wrap it up like kind of
Let's
quickly.
close it off.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
close
close.
it
I
off.
mean, I'm just gonna say, listen, like right now, there's a lot of moving parts. You have inflation woes. You have central banking policy. You have, a president that is, a bit of a loose cannon. You have countries that are struggling, like Japan, that have a lot of global interest baked into the markets. You have, general volatility and a lot of speculation, as we always do, but there's just a lot of things to speculate on. So definitely stay, like, information is your arsenal here. Like, obviously technical information, but fundamental information. You got to be tuned in with like the data sets that are coming out. Like, what does it mean? Like, go a level further. Like, what? Okay, if CPI is hot, like, what does that mean? Like, what inferences can we make? And then from
Right.
there, choosing asset classes that align with where the markets are heading fundamentally, like with what aligns with your strategy, right? Like, if I see a bullish model and I have a bullish asset that's fundamentally bullish, cool. Like, that's why I personally haven't traded really much in 3 months, almost 4 months at this point, because I just haven't really seen the asset classes that I want to take the fundamental bias that I have, like, in alignment with them, like, so, like, that's just really what I've been waiting for. And I'm in a fortunate position where, like, I don't have to trade, which is, what I want to be in, basically, where I can sit on my hands for an extended period of time and then just take it, because one trade for me could be 100 grand, 200 grand. So yeah, it is my turn. I'm gonna share my screen a little bit and just kind of go over my trading strategy a little. Nothing too crazy. I'm honestly, like, pretty tired, pretty exhausted. So, like, I've been attentive this whole day, but yeah,
Me too. I'm gonna stop my share. Go ahead, bro.
yeah.
Yo, Kyle, good stuff though, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for.
No doubt. Appreciate you.
I'm glad you even mentioned fundamentals, because you were kind of like, I mean, Hans did as well. Like, I mean, most of you guys did, but, like,
Did I get you excited, bro?
yeah,
Let's
you
bring
did,
out
you
the
did,
class.
you did. I'm not gonna lie, you did a bit, All right, so right now, let's see. Let me just delete all this shit. But
Hey, Florida boys will link up soon. The Fortune Funding for Florida
Let's make it
team over
happen.
here. We got
Let's
a
make it
we got
happen.
a good little team. Me, Hans, and James.
Yeah, let's
yeah,
make it
so
happen, bro.
for US 30, I am pretty much most of the indices, like, being at these all-time high areas, like, in supply. We did get a weekly closure that kind of rejected here. So if I were to refine this down a bit, I would say, like, we're in a pretty decent spot for a pullback. How far, I'm not sure. I think the uncertainty, like, I think we need more information as far as, like, if Powell actually is going to resign, which I don't think he will unless he gets forced out or someone kills him, literally. But
Right.
my strategy is super simple. Like, the way I look at, like, I trade supply and demand, and, like, the way I have it is, like, I usually start on the weekly time frame. Okay, so I have my zone set up like this. Okay, so I use them. Anyone that knows me knows I use the magnet mode for anything that I draw. So magnet is really simple. Like, notice how I can freely draw a box here. Okay, now if I put the magnet on, basically, this is just for terms of, like, precision. Like, anything that I draw on the chart, like, I want to be very precise. Like, I don't want to draw things, like, without precision. Okay, so with that being said, like, I have my boxes extended, okay? So like I just have that setting turned on where what is it, visibility, no, style, extend right, okay? So all I did was just draw a box straight down and then have it extended to the right, okay? So this is a weekly supply, right? Typically I like to pick like wicks that are very large and liquid. I'm just showing you a back tested example pretty much, but pretty much this would be our all-time high previously, and then I look for a couple things. I look for one, a weekly demand wick or supply wick, right? And then from there, I look for price to confirm that, right? So the confirmation here is the bearish move that followed out of this zone. So great, we got you know, even though these wicks are not very large, like these wicks are actually more liquid, you know, they represent the sellers a little better here. I'm still using this just for the ease of an example right now. But we have the wick, we have the reaction from that zone. And then I can go now down to the daily, and you can see that this daily candle is basically exactly the same as that weekly candle in terms of the size of the zone, okay? So basically what I'm doing in refining my zone is every time I go down a lower time frame, I want to adjust my zone to what best represents the integrity of the previous time frame it came from, if that makes sense. So like I drew it on the weekly, and now you can see it's basically exactly the same here on the daily. And now if I go down to H4, you could see that this wick right here is pretty much the same wick on the weekly, daily, and H4 now. So with that being said, once I get my confirmation, I'm really just looking for a reaction and a break of structure on like lower time frames. I keep it super simple. Like I don't, you know, I use trend lines. I use like a couple different metrics to like determine if a trend is breaking or not. So again, when I draw trend lines, I use the magnet. And so for example, like we have touch point here, touch point here, touch point here, and then a break, right? And then from there, like we're pretty much confirmed that the bearish trend is starting. And then once price comes back in here, you can see we have again a counter trend, and then price comes back into our supply, and now we have pretty much all these higher lows that are being respected here, right? Price is trending upwards, and then what we create now, our first lower low here, and then we create our first lower high after price breaks structure and rejects this supply zone one more time. So pretty simply, like again, you identify your zone, you refine it to the best of your ability, you wait for price to confirm that, and then you wait for the structure or the price action to start breaking down in your favor. I use trend lines, counter trend lines, because technically this is a counter trend for me, because the main trend started here, right? The main bearish trend, and then price came all the way back. So this whole move upwards is basically a correction, like 100% retracement back into this area where the sellers have the most interest. That's what supply and demand is for me, is where the buyers or sellers have the most interest, like the best price that they can find it at. So now that price confirmed that the counter trend is breaking here, we're now just waiting for, like on a lower time frame, we're waiting for a session to kick in. You know, like I like trading around the session open, but you could see right here, we got confluence that price was creating this lower high point here, bearish engulfing, you know, 930 open. We got a lot of confluence here pretty much. And if I drop down to like a lower time frame, you can see the volume really stepped in here, right? At 930, we're breaking lower, we're making lower lows, and we're continuing that bearish trend. So pretty much essentially, like once price gives me a good, like once I have the initial break of structure, which is created with this down move, right? This higher low is taken out. I'm just looking for like bearish price action that tells me that price is starting to turn around. So 925, 930 would pretty much be like once this low gets taken out here, that's created, right? Like we have, you know, basically a pullback, and then you can see this big ass just wick bearish candle here at 930, and pretty much essentially once price starts creating these lower lows here, like I'm confirmed enough because I have my higher time frame confluence, I have all the confluence that I need, and then I'm confidently able to hold this trade because I know it's backed by the higher time frames as well. So like I would be targeting the next area of demand, which would be on like H1 or H4. So that could be like probably somewhere down here. And then if the target really like runs how I would anticipate it to, it would run to then really the next daily area of demand. So that could be like down here. That could even be here realistically. Like I'm just monitoring price as it runs essentially, and let's play her out and see what she does. Yeah, so price hits this first area of demand. I mean, even that itself is a 1 to 9, and then pretty well. I'm pretty sure this high obviously gets respect. I mean, I already know what it does, but that would be your trade in a nutshell. Is pretty much just refining your supply and demand, waiting for your price or your counter trend to break, and then really like refining into like the session time, and scaling into like the lower time frame price action, and obviously having like fundamentals behind you as well, of course, which I didn't really discuss for this, but yeah, that's pretty much what she wrote. I know that was long as fuck. Like we have 37 people on here still, so we had like a peak of like almost 200 at one point or another. So I appreciate everyone. I'm tired. I'm sure you're all tired. I appreciate like you guys just put in 4 hours together. So I really respect that a lot. Your time. But
Ocean's Funding is back.
yeah, we're
Needless to
back.
say.
We're back, and we're here to stay this time. So so yeah, that is pretty much it for me. Any final words or final goodbyes? Yeah. Timothy's on here still. Anthony's on here. These guys were here from the beginning, so they just put 4 hours in together as well. I'm losing my voice now, but yeah,
Be on the lookout for more live sessions like this. Maybe not as lengthy, but
yeah, right.
we definitely have to do more collaboration,
Yeah,
panel recorded high quality stuff, because the people, and as we notice it, man, the young generation 15 and up are really looking for guidance, and people who really is not sitting here teaching them fluff, or just doing it just to create a gotcha funnel. You know what I'm saying? So we got work to do, guys. Like if we're gonna really earn the community's trust back, we have to show them that we're willing to give them more than what they thought they ever could ask for. So I hope we continue to like keep that standard. And you guys know I back you up 100% no matter what I got going on different spectrums. But like when it comes to giving back and really doing this at a full, genuine level, I'm always there. So I appreciate y'all for letting me come on. And let's keep going, man. Let's keep going.
yep, absolutely. I appreciate you all. Josh, thank you. Andrew, thank you. Kyle, thank you. Hans, thank you. Eric, thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you very much. Could not put this together without you, and your time is very valuable and appreciated. So thank you again, and everyone that's still on here. Um, yeah, like thank you for just tuning in. Like I said, this whole ship doesn't rock without you guys as participants in it. So that's pretty much it for me. I'm hungrier. I could eat a whole damn horse right now.
Facts.
So
We out.
yeah, let me get
These
some
carbs and
food. We're
proteins,
gonna
man.
listen. We're gonna do more calls. We got a lot more in store. This was just literally us dipping our toes back in the water. So like that's really what it is for me. But I'm excited.
Don't you worry, guys. The free challenges are coming. We see
Yeah,
you
yeah,
in the
yeah,
comment section. Don't worry,
yeah,
we
yeah.
ain't forget. A
Yeah,
promise
no.
is a
Anyone,
promise.
anyone that is on the call, like, just DM your email to Fortune's Funding Instagram, because you can't put your emails on
Live
the YouTube
comments.
chat. Okay, and that's pretty much it. This is gonna get recorded, and it should be, as soon as I end the stream, it should be available to rewatch back on YouTube Live. So that'll be that. Everyone have a great rest of your evening. I appreciate you all.